leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
party.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits, yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below. Then head top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. Warms up the algo and does us a real solid. Steve, you might want to open up a Zoom meeting. We get the flashing back. But as always, I'm Cap. Joe, my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in this show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins except for risky. Go to zero to moments notice. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. No, Steve and I hold tokens. We'll talk about time and here. We're not financial advisors. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, and education along the way. And while you're at it, go up top, hit that, scroll all the way to the right, hit that carousel, hit the reminder for tomorrow's show. We got some special guests joining us tomorrow. Steve's going to have a special co-host with him on Friday. As I'll be in the air, I would appreciate those reminders. It helps in advance and is greatly appreciated. That said, Steve and I back in this saddle. I guess the only show this week we're together for the full duration, right?
Yeah, I think this is it. Because I'm out tomorrow, you're out Friday, and then Monday I should be able to do it early from Vegas because I have a later flight. Tuesday TBD, just depends on what the schedule looks like at Harvard for like certain things, and then Wednesday I gotta look at my schedule. It's a messy week of travel and flight and things. I think that I'm good on Wednesday next week, but we'll see. So it's just going to be a bumpy couple weeks. It's going to be a bumpy couple weeks, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's bumpy week in general around here. I don't know if you heard this, by the way. I didn't want to pop this on in the war room or on X because I thought people might misconstrue it as like not being kind of like playful and fun. I was listening to Modern Market this morning. I love those guys. I don't know if you were listening.
I meant what I said. I had to take some time off. I couldn't deal with the doom and gloom. The cycle's over, and it just was. I wasn't feeling it. It was putting me in a bad headspace for this show, and so yeah, I took a week off. I'm sure I'll tune back in, but yeah, I had to take some time off.
Yeah. I mean, now that gold's down, might be different, but it's like,
did you see Legendary fucking nailed that trade?
No, it wouldn't surprise me. Like,
Dude, he full parted his gold back to Bitcoin on Monday. Like, guys, I told him he's on a fucking insane run. He's running like the son of God himself, Kobe.
yeah, he's good. I mean, him and there's some guys this cycle, him, Min, some others who have just like made a bag. So good for them. Excited for them on that. But I was just laughing because I saw I basically saw you got to hear them learn how the stock market works in real time. It was really kind of funny. Like and I say this like lovingly, like I said, I love those guys. Those are my boys. But like it was funny because they're like Brett was talking about the stock market, and he's like, yeah, so like Google, like they released this browser, and the initial news is just a browser, so the stock went down, and then they found out that it does something else, so the stock went up. And he was like, basically, it's just like meme coins. Like when the news came in, and I'm like, did you just discover how the stock market works in real time? Like, yes, like it is always traded like that. It's always been like, you'd hear people on, the CNBCs of the world and things like that say like, oh, okay, like we're going down because of this, we're going up because of this. And so it was very normal, but it was just, again, I say it lovingly because those guys are the best, but it's just kind of funny. It was like listening to them like learn, like, do you know there's this whole thing called the stock market that's kind of like crypto, but it trades like companies too? And that wasn't kind of what they were saying, because they've obviously, talk regularly about different stock market things and, stocks and opportunities on there. They've talked about MicroStrategy, all the different stuff, but it was just funny listening to that particular part of it where they're like, yeah, news came out and the stock went up, and then they got more news and the stock went down, and then the stock went up again based on more news. It's like, that is how the stock market works. Yes. So I don't know.
Here, little heavy for cold open, but speaking of the stock market, I guess the stock market would be appropriate for us cold open material, but I don't know if you saw this from Mando. I was not aware of this, but the data doesn't lie. When do you think the stock market, and it'll kill it if you saw the tweet, but when do you think the stock market last had an actual 4-year cycle?
An actual 4-year cycle. All right. Well, I actually have to think deeply about this. Give me like 2 seconds to think about it, because like,
don't chat GPT or Google it.
No. I'm like hands up. I am not like, there's no Googling, there's no anything. I'm like literally thinking about this, because 2008 into 2009, 2010, 2011. So I'd say the most likely legitimate 4-year cycle is it in the 90s?
So this conversation started because Mando went on a rant how he believes the 4-year cycle is over in crypto, and that we'll just trade, that it's now a thing of the past. It's no longer be tied to Bitcoin halving or cycles. To which Trader Main, a very good trader, well-respected trader, he's like, I love Mando, but the cycles, it's not a Bitcoin thing, it's a stock market thing. To which Mando quote tweeted him and said, there has not been a 4-year cycle in stocks since 2008.
I almost, you heard me thinking about that too. I started to say 2008 and I thought I was off.
You were thinking through in your head. I thought you were going to nail it. I was like, oh my God, Steve's going to get this.
Fuck. I was so close. Sorry,
yeah,
YouTube.
right?
I know we don't like the swearing. Damn it.
That's hilarious. We follow up. I don't like swearing with damn it.
I know. I blew that one. That's incredible. I was like starting to do the math on 2008 and then I was like, no, not quite. Right. But apparently it was.
Yeah. This is 30-year chart right here. This is wild, pretty wild. And, he says respect to Mando, but the 4-year, I'll just go backwards here so you can see. He explained on Thread Guy's show that why he thinks the 4-year cycle is over. I don't think we're at the top. I don't believe in 4-year cycles. The market structure has changed. To which, as Amit said, Trader Main said the 4-year cycle comes from stocks. To which he replied, yep, that's over as well. So thoughts on that?
I mean, I've been saying for a while that traditional cycles are over. I think that we overestimate the concept of traditional cycles. I think like
it made sense with the Bitcoin halving. Made sense for years.
It did, but like,
why would it make sense with stocks, right?
No,
and explain it to me. Where did it even originate from?
I don't know where 4-year cycle originated from, but I don't think that 4 years. I think that like First of all, each individual Bitcoin cycle has been drastically different from the last. Yes, like they've generally followed some cycles based on the mechanics of Bitcoin, but like you introduce more variables and things change. It's like, I don't know, like if I'm running a race and it's a straight track, you can kind of predict exactly how fast I'm going to run with some level of variability. If you introduce hurdles, that changes things. If you introduce a wind tunnel behind me, that changes things. If you and like it's not to oversimplify it, but like there's more variables in crypto now than there have ever been before by leaps and bounds. There are the largest institutions in the world. I want to say BlackRock, I did the math, they'd be larger than like Japan, Germany, and England's like GDP combined or something like that. And it's like BlackRock is in the game now. Like it's
really insane when you say it like that. When you think about these funds and how much more capital and assets under management they have than entire nation states like that, like large global powers, it's pretty wild.
I'm trying to find, because I did the math and put a tweet out about it, because I was like, everybody's like cycles over and like Larry Fink's like these things are getting ready to rip. And it was, God, if I can find it, because like
Brick it off for the election is where the 4-year cycle thing came in.
I don't know, man. I think like here's what I got. Here's what I put on the timeline, because I actually figured out the math on it, because I was like trying to figure out GDP as a company, so I spent way too long figuring it out. But it says the timeline says it's over every time we have a market pullback. BlackRock, whose assets under management is a greater than the GDP of Japan, Germany, and Canada combined, says crypto will expand rapidly, so much higher. So that was one that I like put out there, because it's like when you're talking about 4-year cycles, you're talking about like this isolated idea of the Bitcoin halving. Great. That is the single variable that has the most impact on Bitcoin. I would argue now that there is way more, like I said, like there's institutional adoption, there's people using it, there's recommendations coming to use it in 401ks and portfolio companies. There's just so many more things that exist within this like sort of like world ecosystem we have, that like you can't say it's going to run on any given cycle. There's going to be other factors, by the way, both good and bad. There can be black swans that we didn't previously have involved, and there can also be catalysts we didn't previously have involved. So I think the predictability of it is not, you can't just play it on the number.
I agree. I will give Brick it all credit. I don't know if he cheated on this or just is a wise Bricker, but yeah, the idea of stock markets follow 4-year cycles mostly stems from so-called presidential election cycle theory in the US, but it's not deeply rooted in economic law so much as an observed pattern with various caveats. Here's a breakdown of where it comes from and how credible it is. The theory is often credited to Yale Hirsch, who in the late 60s, with the first edition of the Stock Traders Almanac, popularized the idea that the US stock market tends to move broadly in 4-year patterns aligned with 4-year presidential term. The logic, because U.S. presidential elections occur every 4 years, and because policy, budget cycles, investor sentiment may change systematically over the 4-year term, the market might reflect those changes. According to this cycle theory, the first year after an election tends to be weaker for stocks. The second and third year stronger than the cycle resets. For example, one article states the first year of a new presidential election is often the weakest, and the third year typically the best. Many charts and backtests show this pattern in the U.S. markets going back many decades. So, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just go ask ChatGPT yourself, where did the 4-year cycle in stocks originate, and you can get the full answer. While this makes sense, and I'm sure it's been backtested and checks out, it also originated in 1967. And our world is vastly different from 1967. In fact, I would say our world is vastly different today than it was in the 90s, than it was in 2008. And it's changing at the fastest clip in human history with AI. So yeah, I just, and some of this stuff going on with AI, like we haven't talked about it on this show, I don't believe, but this whole funny business, this math of these AI companies in the fundraising rounds and buying chips back, and just like it like we joke about it, like Kobe's had some good stuff come out in the last week on his news, but they talk about just numbers on a screen. These major companies moving billions of dollars around, like to each other, lending money and giving it back. It's like, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to understand how or the, an actual risk factor there, but you want to talk about a bubble or a black swan event, like it makes me a little uneasy that this AI stuff could, what happens if, because I saw something yesterday, like OpenAI needs to raise $400 billion. It's like, what if they don't? Someone else just steps in and fills the gap would be my assumption, but like just like thinking about the amount of capital, how capital intensive this stuff is. I also saw a breakdown of like for every dollar that goes in, it ends up costing. It's just like it's some really weird math. And hey, maybe it's all fine. Again, I'm not trying to doom and gloom. I don't know. It's just a lot of capital, a lot of energy is going into this AI boom, and I'm a tech forward optimist. That said, I don't understand all this stuff, and so as much as I don't think I tend to agree that the 4-year cycle is over. If there is a black cloud looming, I think it may be how some of they're doing some of this financial. I don't know, manipulating is not the right word. Mechanics on some of these deals at to the tune of billions of dollars in the AI space. If that could pop, if that could come unwound in an ugly way, it would just send shock effects throughout all markets. Because the reality is that you know most of the stock market this year, the gains have been in that bucket, right?
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I think AI is programmed, so I'm not super worried about like I think if OpenAI doesn't, raise I think it's like near impossible that OpenAI can't raise the funds.
I agree. Just really trying to okay, what could happen? And to me, my small brain, that's the only thing I can think of. Like, what could go wrong right now that would prevent? Because it does truly feel like you talk about elections and that cycle. If what we just read is true, well, we're in the worst of it right now. We're just wrapping up year one, so things should get better in 2026, and 2027 would be the blow off top. If we're actually following the presidential cycles. This past year has been the worst of it when things have really been, for all intents and purposes, stock market, Bitcoin, even ETH have been performing really well. So, we could be, my thought of like 6 to 18 months a while back could vastly been undershot. And we really could just be starting to get warmed up as we head into Q4 and into Q1. But let's hope, right?
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, I actually, so yeah, like largely, like, I think it's just, I mean, the thing is, like, I think a lot of people spend, and this is like, to the point you're making, a lot of people, by the way, shout out Forum Chaos, rocking coffee with Captain on the flat screen. Love that. But I think a lot of people, like, analyze this stuff, like, sort of Mando and the people they were talking to, where Mando said, it's like, look, we're not, we're just, there's no sort of like, basically like saying there's no 4-year cycles, and someone being like, oh, they're predictable, and some people being like, oh, you could set your watch to it. Like, I hear people talking about when they sell, when they don't. Like, I'm not good at that particular activity. Like, my only take is that, like, the consensus, like, people are so wrong on the consensus trade so consistently that I just can't take it seriously anymore. And by that I mean, like, the amount of times I see people saying, it's like, I mean, I use the example of that Jackson Hole meeting as a perfect example, where going into it, everyone was giga bearish, and then he says something and everyone was giga bullish. And then Sunday night we hit all-time high in ETH, and then everybody's giga bullish, and so much the next week. It's like consensus is wrong on these things. And I think just like trying to, like, obviously that's how perps work. You play the number, you take a guess, you have a theory. But I think like it's sort of like sports gambling, where I think you talk about Legendary's trade being exactly right on gold. And he crushed it, and he's a good trader. I think trading in that manner is a lot like sports gambling. You hear a lot about the wins. You don't necessarily hear about the losses quite as much, except for unless people make content out of it that helps them, like Clemente type people who, he has wins, he has losses. But I feel like I went like, I think 7-0 on my NFL picks this weekend betting, or 8-0, something like that. Total anomaly. I'm going to go like 0-8 in the next week. I'm not going to go in the war room and talk about my 0-8, not because I'm trying to avoid it, but because I was stoked and on a high about my 7-0. I think like trading and predicting the markets and trying to time them, like people try to make a lot of moves. I think opening up less leveraged longs, like, makes sense. Less leverage shorts, where like you're sort of like playing like where you're not necessarily liquidated, but you have a while to play it. I get that on perps. I just think so many people try to call out like, this is what the market is, this is what's going to happen. And I just think it's such a immature market. And by that, I don't mean like, well, I mean, we are immature. We like 69 jokes and things, but like, I think an immature market in that, like, this isn't like a 200-year stock market where you could say like, you know what, we're going to go up 7 to 10% on average on an annual basis. Even when it goes up and down, that's your average return rate. Like, we can't guess that with this market. And so I think people spend a lot of time on that stuff. I just don't think it's a valuable. I think like, I don't know. It's like the guy who shorted the housing crisis in 2008 has like 5 calls that are wrong since, Michael Burry or whatever. But like, everybody's like, the guy who called the stock market crash, the housing bubble in 2008 as a new prediction, and it's scary, and then it doesn't happen. And like, everyone just kind of forgets about that and are like, yeah. And like I've seen that headline like 4 times since where he hasn't been spot on with it. So I don't know. I mean, that's what prediction markets are for. Do your thing, make your bets, play your perps. But like, I don't think it's possible to like accurately predict cycles right now in crypto. I just don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's just too much in our favor. There's too many real legitimate tailwinds. And it's not just like crypto bros. It's the most powerful institutions, the most powerful governments in the world. And they're just getting started. Right. Like, and I know there could be bad stuff that comes out of this, but it just seems at the end of the day, when you've got an administration in the US that wants to be the crypto capital of the world, they're pushing forward this Genius Act. Again, not getting into some debate on all the goods and bads in that Genius Act, but things are moving on chain, whether we like it or not. Like, the train has left the station. It's just better. By the way, we kind of got some breaking news. I think breaking news this morning. I saw that it was happening, or I saw that DraftKings was entering the prediction market. They made an acquisition. Did you see this?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I heard something. I mean, I saw people talking about it being a big deal, but I didn't kind of see. I've been kind of like, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I knew they were entering. I mean, they had to. Like, basically, it's just a matter of when, because if I think we talked about it here. It's like this is their Kodak or their Blockbuster moment. They can either choose to start streaming and dilute some of the revenue from their DVDs and VHS they're renting, or they can not evolve, not adapt, and have their lunch eaten by Kalshi and Polymarket and others. And this apparently DraftKings has acquired Railbird and plans to launch DraftKings Predictions as a mobile app leaning into prediction markets. The NHL partnered with Polymarket. I did see that. Polymarket and Kalshi to license its trademarks. I don't know even what that means. So they can have the actual NHL logo instead of just saying NHL. I hope they didn't pay too much for that. Jupiter introduced the first prediction market, now live in beta, powered by Kalshi, and Limitless released its tokenomics for upcoming Limits TGE and first major prediction token launch. This is Jason Robbins, the CEO and co-founder of DraftKings, says we're excited about additional opportunity that prediction markets could represent for our business. We believe that Railbird's team and platform, combined with DraftKings' scale, trusted brand, and proven expertise in a mobile-first products, position us to win in this incremental space. First time I've even heard about Railbird. You?
Yeah, I've heard about Railbird, but I didn't know a lot about it. I actually had that exact same tweet pulled up from Tyler related to the prediction markets in general. I mean, I think it's a meta that just makes sense. Like, you get numbers that are more accurate on the line, which I think is a good thing. I don't know. I
will not include sports. This is interesting. So
wait, what?
Yeah. So this is really interesting. And actually a tactical play by them, because I'm presumably they make a lot more money in their sports books, right, than they would on the prediction market. So by this like 1 foot in, keeping their sports betting segmented to keep their not dilute the revenue, keep their profit margins high. Said the company also confirmed plans to launch DraftKings Predictions, a forthcoming mobile application, and will allow customers to trade regulated event contracts on real world outcomes across finance, culture, and entertainment. The product will have flexibility to connect to multiple exchanges, enabling DraftKings to offer one of the broadest suites of markets to its customers. I was trying to find in the press release where they said they will not include sports. I was going off this tweet. I'm not seeing it jump out at me in the actual press release, but taking this guy at face value, They will not include sports in the prediction market, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't. I don't know. It's going to be like I assume FanDuel will follow. I assume I think all the big sports books will ultimately get in the prediction market game. How they do it's going to be interesting. And I saw someone else saying like, "Oh, Kalshi and Polymarket should join forces." I guess the take there is so that they can, fend off the. I don't know, I guess you shouldn't call it DraftKings an incumbent, but the reality is they've got a lot more power than does either of those individuals right now. And this is clearly they're making an entrance in the prediction market space. How heavy and hard they go, I don't know. But you talk about how valuable distribution is. I think DraftKings has a pretty big edge there versus the startups that are Kalshi and Polymarket, despite all their early success. I think if DraftKings really puts the foot on the gas here, they very quickly could become not even a viable competitor. They could become the leader.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you always wonder. It's like, do they squash out some of the scrappy underdogs? Like, is it a David versus Goliath story, or is it just a, squash it out? Because like you said, like if DraftKings gets on board, but they have to, it does provide another, just another avenue for opportunity for people to bet on. And I think I talked about Bunch on this when I went on Billy Sweats last week. It's like, I personally am better at playing prediction markets than I am on betting, because obviously we talked about it. You talked about it with your friend who had the Baker Mayfield. I know, I think we had this conversation offline actually, so I'll just kind of bring it here because it's worth it and it's worth surfacing. Cap's friend has a future on Baker Mayfield winning MVP that's at astronomically awesome odds because Baker wasn't necessarily the favorite coming in. He's a Tampa guy. Right now, he could sell the ticket and make a lot of money, but if he had it on a prediction market, he could sell shares of that, be completely up money, and still ride the Baker ticket all the way through.
It's a better model.
Such a better
on
model.
on every angle. It's better because you're peer to peer is better than betting against the house. But what you just said, the ability to sell a portion of your stake as opposed to all or nothing. Like, yeah, you could go cash out on DraftKings, but then you're out. You're done. Like, the bet's over. You're not getting good odds on, or not getting the best payout because they want you to take the cash out. It's just like, this is a much more efficient market, I believe, and much better for the end consumer on every level. And yeah, I think this is a massive shift and it's also, think about how fast this is happening. I'm old enough to remember, like, if you wanted to bet on sports, unless you had an underground bookie, you had to go to Vegas and go into a sports book. Like, it wasn't that long ago.
Where you had to go with your ticket and be like, I got my ticket when I was in Vegas.
And then you win.
Go back to cash it.
Think about that. Like, billions of dollars have been bet on sports that way. Now we're here. And oh, by the way, it's I like Underdog has had massive success. They're still only legal in 48 states or 40 states. There's 10 states that you can't even play Underdog in yet. Like, it's all this change in the amount of volume that these platforms are doing is kind of insane. And I think it's still like top of the first inning.
Yeah,
we live
early.
in a society that's only getting more degenerate.
It's just, and it's not even just degenerate. It's like, it's so funny how it's like, hey, country built on freedom, yada, yada, yada. Here's what I think about DraftKings. I used to be able to buy lottery tickets through Jackpocket. Like, when you would do the DGen lottery, remember when the lottery would hit $1 billion and I get everyone to collect money and I put it in there and I do the math and I let everyone see a spreadsheet of what our payout would be based on who did what, and everyone was really transparent. And I would go to Jackpocket and I would buy my tickets. DraftKings acquired Jackpocket. I don't know why, but now in Ohio, I can't buy tickets on Jackpocket anymore. It's like, thanks for your patience. I'll see if it's doing it now. Maybe they've solved it in the past 2 months. But basically, DraftKings acquired it, and they were like, we have regulations about how you can spend your money and where you can spend your money. Like, Big Brother wants to protect you from there. Powerball's $320 million. I'll try to buy $2 worth of tickets right now. Oh, it looks like it might actually let me order now. But it was a period of time for 2 months where they took it off. Why are we being told where and how to spend our money? And to your point about prediction markets being decentralized and the decentralized idea of gambling, it's like especially in a country that's sort of based on freedom, I don't understand why it's like you can't spend your money here. We're trying to protect you. It's like sort of the idea of accredited investors, which I understand. You need to be careful. People need to understand the risks going into things, but like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like it's funny how like we put these like rails on things that gatekeep certain industries, and it's like, was gambling gatekept because Vegas kept it that way? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure there was other people. I'm sure there's people who just really were passionate. They didn't want people gambling in their state or their city because they thought it would bring in drug dealers and criminals and prostitutes. Like, dude, they're there in cities that don't have casinos. Like, casinos are not destroying society, right? And people that want to gamble are going to find a way. It's kind of like cannabis. Like, cannabis is not destroying society. It's a non-toxic plant that is a medicine, and yet there's still states that are making zero revenue because they're choosing to keep something illegal for no logical reason other than propaganda from decades ago. It's just, I think there's like, I don't know how to describe it. Probably a little too deep this morning for 8:30 and only on coffee too. But it's like there's this. I feel somewhat of an awakening throughout, at least in the U.S. I can speak to because I live here. That things that don't really harm other people, you should have the freedoms to do and enjoy whether it's something you put in your body or something you do with your money. Like, who's asking to be protected on this front?
I mean, I know people, like very real people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 20s who have alcohol problems, and no one's stopping them from doing that unless they obviously, if they get behind the wheel of a car or getting themselves in trouble in other ways. But like, I know people have that. It's like I'm at the age where it's like, look, like I'm gonna like, I have a whole plan in November as far as halting on drinking. Like, obviously, like a lot of people go in waves and things. I'm trying to get back to some routine, but like, I went to a golf outing on Saturday for like a memorial golf outing that we have for a friend of ours who passed away. And I had some drinks at the golf course. Wasn't the driver, so it was totally fine. And then when we went to our friend, then I came home, took a nap, went to our friend's house later in the day, and went seltzer all night. Like, but I know people who, they'll drink and they'll drink and they'll drink, and there'll be things that happen like, in their 20s, 30s, 40s. It doesn't matter. And everyone's like, yeah, go for that. But then other things, it's like, no, that's a bridge too far. It's like, that's why it's weird that like most anything can be abused or become a problem. I don't understand why we find, I always wonder the origin of these things too, because like, I bet you if we like had someone on the show who like really knew the origins of like gambling is not legal, why, pot's not legal. I know you've done a little research on both of those, but it's like, it would be some ridiculous thing. Like pot was like a weird one, I remember. And I don't know the validity of this. This is like the Joe Rogan-esque, so take it as who knows. But like, which, he asks good questions. He's a good interviewer. Sometimes he gets guests on and doesn't have them fully, some of them, they're not great. But like, he talked about like the fact that like the hemp industry was like on attack. And it's one of the reasons they went against it, because hemp was like better than paper and it was killing industries. And like these things where you're like, man, these behind closed doors deals that happen that are less likely to happen in the age of the internet or don't happen quite as easily is crazy to me. So anyway, I know we went on a rant there on that one, but yeah, I mean, I think prediction markets, I mean, I had the Tyler tweet pulled up too. It's like, NHL, DraftKings getting involved, Jupiter powered by Kalshi, like Limitless. It's like, it's a very real meta that is happening right now. And I just think that it is
I don't think it's a meta though. I think it's a real paradigm shift. I think that there's a world where you fast forward 5 years and no one's like, traditional sports books are like very niche, like I think of the past almost.
In what way though? Because like I want to like, when you say it's a paradigm shift, I don't think everybody wants to take both sides of the action. Like prediction markets have the number now, so you can take those, but that's kind of like traditional sports betting with this similar juice number where it moves based on the action on both ends. But like you can take the number on Polymarket on like any game now. Like you don't have to just take one side or the other. So like, when you say that traditional sports books are dead, do you think that they're just because you can do parlays on prediction market? Do you think they're not going to be able to do those parlays? Like, what is your thinking there?
No, why once everything that you bet via a sports book becomes available on a peer-to-peer prediction market, why would you go to a sports book and get lesser odds or not? I mean, forget all that. So let's say the odds are always the same. across prediction markets and sportsbooks, why would you choose to do something that you, I guess maybe like Sundays, maybe some people like they're always going to ride it out. They have no desire to cash out. But if you're talking futures, it's like you're leaving money on the table if you're betting futures in a traditional sports book versus a prediction.
Well, no, anything, not just futures. To your point on the number, I mean, that was kind of my point. Like, if you can take the number and you can cash out shares
on your money on futures, like you go bet 10 grand on Baker Mayfield to win the MVP on DraftKings. That 10K, DraftKings is earning money on your 10K. They're earning interest on your 10K while your deposit sits there. And then you either win or you lose. It's a binary outcome. You either win big in January or it's all gone. Whereas in the prediction market, you're earning 4% on your 10K throughout the course of the season. And let's say Baker gets really hot, like we just talked about, like you can sell off a portion of that, recoup your initial investment, and be re-rolling the MVP. Why would you not do that? It's a better product.
Well, and your point on not just futures, this is what I was saying on the numbers. So Minnesota's a 3.5 point underdog to the Chargers. I might take that. I don't know. But it's like 53 cents, 49 cents, right? So you're getting a little better odds at 3.5% on the Chargers. As the line moves, the money moves that around. But it's like, I am buying shares of the Vikings here, meaning to your point, let's say the Vikings are 3.5 point underdogs. They score first. I don't have to cash my whole position. Exactly to your point. Like, I can cash if they start moving in ahead, like they go up 14-0. I can cash that. I can cash part of that position and still continue to ride it out. It's just, it is a better, like the shares option is just better. They just need to figure out a way to skin this and make it work with things that we currently use. Because like the thing that we talked about, like when I talked about with Bunchu on this is like, for my daughter to bet on like what Jeff Probst is going to say on Survivor, which is like a thing she would enjoy doing. And by the way, like I mentioned a Bunchu, my daughter is like, she's perfectly my daughter. She does Lego robotics, and she like got a big capybara and a little capybara for her birthday. And her big present this year, which we spent more than we usually spend on birthday, she got a pair of AirPods, like a nice pair of AirPods, because she wanted them, and she had some janky old pair of like fake AirPods or whatever. She took her little turtle, which had a little capybara, which had a turtle on the back. Opened the turtle, cut it out, took out the fluff, put a zipper on it, and it's her new AirPods case. But like, you know, she's like perfectly my daughter. But like, one of the things she does is she pays attention to Survivor and like what competitions they've done and what things they've said. And so like her doing prediction markets, she has an edge on like reality show prediction markets. But it's like, you know, for her to participate, it's like, you know, if she's like going on that, it's like it has to be done in this way of like share, sell, get, move. It's like it's just a whole different sort of ball game. And I just think like being able to bet on everything, being able to buy in shares, it is a strictly better option than like what we have seen in the past. And obviously she's not betting because she's 14. I'd be betting and, you know, she'd be my quant. But like, it's just, I don't know. It's a better model. It's a better option. And I don't understand, to your point, why things wouldn't go this way. But yeah, I think traditional sports books are still going to be the number. They're still going to, and I think they're probably just going to have to get on board with it. It's just interesting to see how their profitability and business is going to work if they can't just gouge customers on certain things. Joey, go ahead and get in here, GM.
Hey, GM guys. I don't know if you guys know, but Predict It has been around since 2014. They're the original prediction platform. It started, again, I don't remember why it started, but my friend he's heavy into politics. Like he's predicted like crazy, like he predicts like governor races and all kinds of weird shit, because for the last like 11 years, he started on Predict It, where he would bet on, you know, buy shares of who's going to win specific race, you know, different governor races and seats and whatever. So like this idea that like, yes, we're seeing more people get into it now with, you know, Polymarket launched in like 2020. I think Kalshi launched in 2021. Obviously DraftKings is now expanding beyond sports, but this has been going on for over a decade now. And I'm with Cap, where I think it's only a matter of time where like it just continues to expand, and it becomes I look at it again like blockchain. Like I think there's going to come a point where like gone are the days of, like Cap said, of like, using only Hard Rock Bet or whatever, right? Like these markets are going to become just part of our everyday life, where we're going to bet on like the stupidest things, because it's that dopamine rush that us as human beings are constantly looking for, of that excitement and the thrill. And but Predictit's a pretty cool platform, been around for over a decade, and now all these other platforms are finally catching up, but they're the first one to do it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting for sure. Cap, before we do any daily market update or any other any other stuff, I know I was on a flight with like intermittent, sort of service yesterday. Did you give thoughts on ApeFest merch? Because I know that dropped, and I had one take on that I want to get off my chest, but I'm curious if you had thoughts on ApeFest merch.
I was, and I think we are going to have our guest joining us here to talk all things ApeFest. So we can definitely get deeper into it then. But it was fine. It didn't really do much for me, candidly. Just not my style. Fine, looks good. It's just not stuff I can rock. And of all the stuff, I probably would have bought the cards and the dice just to have. And they moved the drop date, or the drop time. Again, I understand it was due to AWS. Then I was out, wasn't near my computer, and when it did go live, by the time I got back to the computer, they were already sold out. So I think there's gonna be more there. I'm not like sweating. I don't really care. I don't know. I just also have a ton of Ape merch, and I don't need any more at this point. It was like a non-event for me. And normally I'm excited about drops and stuff, but it was like, eh. I mean, I'm not even the complex con stuff. It's like I don't really like any of it. I think I've aged out of the streetwear genre. And I get it. I understand where they're going. It makes sense for complex con. It's just like the hoodie with flowers on it. It's like I would never wear that.
Yeah, I kind of saw him. Like, merch wasn't my style, but that was fine. Like, that's a thing.
I really like Lisbon's merch. It's not just because I'm a fan of James Costa. Like, I really liked the merch last year. I didn't even go to Lisbon, and I bought some of that merch. This year, I'm probably just gonna pass on all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like that was like a similar take, but like honestly, like the merch is the merch. I saw a lot of people excited about it.
Yeah, I'm glad everyone that likes it. Get things you like. I just nothing really spoke to me. I didn't think there was really anything I'd wear, and so I just I'll probably buy something as like a whatever. My biggest thought actually is one thing we did talk about is the foreshadowing of the clubhouse seems to be imminent. Like I think I'll be shocked. I'll be disappointed if we don't get a clubhouse announcement at ApeFest. There's just been way too much foreshadowing. That said, I mean, they started putting, Miami Clubhouse on.
Already got a couple of Miami, I think, was on some of the stuff, right?
It was in Hong Kong. They started doing that. So while I say I'll be shocked they don't announce it, like maybe they don't, but I think it's inevitable. And that was my big takeaway, is not just the mention of it, but having like they had to me, it was like they had ApeFest section. They had NBA section, and then they had Yacht Club of Miami section. To me, it seems inevitable. I think we get the announcement, and so that's exciting to me. All that to be said, I hope that's not the permanent logo. I'm not a fan of like the sails that look like the Jazz Cup from the 90s. And maybe they're trying to play into like Miami Vice and that sort of like 90s theme. Just not. I don't know. I hope that's not the final.
I like the NBA thing. Merch wasn't my style.
So I love the NBAs. Yeah, I love that.
I wasn't grabbing it. I will say this, like, and this is my thing, and it's like maybe there's some stuff there, like you said, that we can grab, and I'll try to travel it.
If there's one still available, I probably will grab the. I mean, of all the ApeFest stuff, the one that I like most is the shirt from Boring Merch, the Curtis shirt from Boring Merch, which that is. I saw you do the prompt. This one here on the right. What is the prompt? I need you to shoot me the prompt.
I had to play around with it a little bit, and then
I thought mine came out bad. So yeah, if you got a good one, let me. I've seen a few.
I can give you my starting prompt, but I had a couple that I worked with, and then I had to be like, make its neck skinny, and then I actually had to. We couldn't get the sign right. I screwed up by not adding in what is it, Kevin, the dog or whatever. It's not there. But I did have to add any sign manually in Canva, where I kind of remove background, just put the sign that says ApeFest 100 miles or whatever, because it couldn't get that right. So it couldn't get everything exactly right, but it was some work on the prompt. But I was like, I think I was on the plane, just playing with ChatGPT, so I had some time. Here's my like probably too spicy, like my semi-spicy take, which I'm not that dogmatic about it. I don't need to buy the stuff. I like the unique items. I too like was not at a place where I could just buy when it went live.
Put limits on it. I don't know why they continue to
not
do
even
this.
limits. Like there's a club with 30,000 people in it. Just like guarantee everyone can purchase one of everything. Like print it after the fact. I don't care, right? And I know they have to do certain.
I think in their defense, I think that's part of it. Is this they can't print it after the fact, right? This time their strategy is pre-sale, pick up at ApeFest. So it's almost impossible to turn 30,000 items or 10,000 items around in a week. So
I don't even think that, but I think that's a solvable solution. I think it's you have a limited quantity to pick up at ApeFest. Afterwards, it says, hey, you won't be able to pick this up at ApeFest. But like, and I know I can probably get one and things, but it's like, I give the example of a country club. It's like when we would have like a pullover hoodie, or I mean a pullover jacket that someone wanted for golf, and they're like, you guys don't have it in large because they're sold out. The pro shop would make a call and get one sent in large because that's what you do. It's like, you know, it's one of those things where this happened with the shoes, and I got frustrated around Hong Kong where I'm like, I wanted to give you $500 for a pair of shoes that probably cost like, you know, $20 to make or whatever it is. I don't know what shoes cost to make, $100, whatever it is. Let me do it. Like I saw the dice and the cards. I'm like, those are cool. And I clicked and it's like sold out. And I'm like, well, shit. Like, even if they were telling me like, we're going to send them to you in a month and a half, you'll get them in December. Like we've waited long for stuff before. Like, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. So like, that's my one. It's a minor thing. I'll be fine. I'll probably buy him there when I see him in the store. But it's
like I really don't care. But I was just kind of bummed. Like as I was scanning the site, the one thing that like, oh, those are cool, and then they're sold out. Like, yeah,
right. And then there's no limits on quantity. So I'm hearing that people maybe bought like 10 of them and were like, you could buy them from me now. And it's like, I don't know. Like, I just don't think members gouging other members is a good strategy in that sense. And again, I'm not trying to kill them. Like, I'm excited to talk to them today. I'm excited for ApeFest. It's just, this has been a thing for years where it's like being part of a club with like a, you know, 30, 40, 50, $60,000, like, you know, membership, you know, card. It would be nice if like on a day, like I had a 17-hour trip to New York. I flew in, I had a dinner meeting. I flew out the next day. It would be awesome if like busy people, because you talk about the club being like a networking club, like busy people can't always make it exactly that time for a drop. Like it's just sort of incongruent with maybe like potentially what the audience is there. It's like, I just want to be able to buy some dice and some cards. And like, I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not to me being like, oh, send me dice and cards or do that. It's not that. It's just, if you have limited number, if you have 30,000 or less members, how many members are in the club in total, including mutants? Like 20,000, 25,000, whatever the unique holder number is? Like,
oh, I don't think it's that many, because you're talking like, let's say there's 50% unique ownership of each. So you got 5,000 apes, 10,000 mutants, 15,000 roughly. Yeah.
And then maybe people with multiple wallets. So maybe 10 to 15,000. Like, just let me guarantee that I can get the one items I want. Like, that's all. Like, I don't care if I have to wait on it. I don't care if things, but it's been a consistent thing where it's like, I've missed so many of these drops. I missed the first one because I was traveling, or I was out another time that I was like on the road, and thankfully I had somebody who like picked up the OG hoodie for me and sent it to me. But it's like, I mean, it's cool. Like this stuff, I think it's again not my style. It's cool. I'm glad people are happy with it. Like it's like, style is subjective, but like, let me pay you and buy the things that I don't know. I want to buy the things. So that was my one hot take. It's not meant to be fun or anything like that. It's just, this has been the case for a while.
What are your thoughts on the Yacht Club of Miami? And I don't know if you caught it. I did share there is a Miami Yacht Club that was founded in 1927, waterfront facility in the heart of Miami. Welcomes new members. That membership, just as a FYI, is a $3,000 initiation fee, then basically $200 a month. That's just for your entry, right? If you want to wet slip or anything else, you're paying addition for that. But yeah, basically just to be a part of it, it's $3,000 up front and then $200 a month. We also, there was, man, I can't remember who came up and shared the take, but someone was like, you know, I think the language will take a little too far, not expecting an actual yacht club on the water, rather more of like a clubhouse type vibes. And I agree. I don't think it's going to be an actual yacht club. I do like the branding going away from the ape skull. I think I'm really curious, really excited to find out what this is going to be. It's been on the roadmap for years. It's been teased, talked about for years. I know it's not for everyone. It's just one of the things that got me really excited about the club. And I think there's something magical in person that I have a lot of ideas that could make it a profitable business, potentially, something could be franchised. I don't know which way they're going. But all I do know is I think, unfortunately, the brutal reality is I think if it was too heavily branded Bored Ape Yacht Club and an Ape Skull, I don't think it's good for business.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is meant to be a little punk rock, a little off the beaten path, like you said. Not going to be an actual yacht club. It's going to be sort of this degen fun sort of brand that they're building around. So I get that is going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see what direction they end up going with it. We'll see what
Also,
direction.
could be a yacht club. I mean, literally could be a lot. I mean, there's no I don't think they're going to build a new building, but they could acquire a marina. They could lease a marina. They could lease something on the water and have a few boat slips. Like it's possible. I don't think that's going to be the case, but there are apes that live in Miami that have boats. There's no that would be cool if it's actually on the water and it's a cool spot. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
I've never been an IRL Club Maxi in general, just because it's not like I wouldn't be able to use it very often. But respect those who are. What do you want to do? Do you want to do Death Fun? You want to do a daily market update? We got some BZ polls we could do. We got a lot of stuff we could bump in here. Any thoughts on which direction we're gonna go?
Yeah, first tell me about the abstract badges. I missed what you meant by the title or whatever happened.
I completely forgot I had put that in the title. Nothing more, just the outside of I just was putting some stuff in. I know we have a good abstract audience, some good people in there. It's just abstract badges are back. They basically have this sitting in the portal. So I took a screenshot of it. I was going to maybe tweet about it, but it said new badges are coming. Stay tuned. Something that I thought was a really cool mechanism. I think it's a cool way to keep people engaged. I think it's a cool way to promote with their partners. I think there's a lot of stuff going on there. So that was the just a high level. I know some people were excited about abstract badges being back.
Coming back. Nothing as of yet, but
there's some OG badge that I thought I should get, but I did not. So a lot of people are getting a badge if they signed up before the chain mainnet went live. I thought I did. Apparently, maybe I did not. So, I saw Josh and some other people supporting that one. I saw Joey's hand fly. Oh, sorry, guys.
No OG badge for me either, but I thought I was on there from the jump. But
yeah, so maybe not. But Joey, I saw that your hand flew up as well. So go ahead and get in here on this conversation. We'll figure out what direction we wanna go.
First thing on the merch thing, I agree with you guys. I don't think it's much of a lift to say, hey, pre-order before this date to pick up in Vegas, and then and then those sell out, and then it reopens, and people that are not going to Vegas who want the merch can then purchase and pay for shipping or whatever the case is. It just doesn't. To me, that's a very low lift. As somebody who's worked in pre-order clothing space with music festivals and stuff like that, it's really not that difficult to just print more, especially when you're doing a pre-order, because you know exactly how many you print, right? You're not printing leftover, you're not printing, and then they're not selling, and then you're stuck with this merch that you don't know what to do with. So it just seems like a very low lift to allow to not sell out before everybody who wants one can buy one. Yes, you could, like Cap said, you can say these are all you have to order. There's only a limited quantity available for pickup in Vegas, but then the rest will get shipped, after the fact. And then I do have a question for you guys. What happens if you guys go to ApeFest and they don't announce an IRL clubhouse? What do you think happens?
I just don't think it's possible based on what they've done. So I don't even think it's a worth.
I'll tell you what happens. There's going to be a mass exodus of OGs. That's what'll happen. I'll pull up a tweet. I'm not going to get into it on the timeline. Garga responded. Actually, Steve, I'm going to hand it back to you. I saw Von front and saying, let me go track down this tweet because I don't want to misrepresent anyone else. I don't want to misquote. It's also not my words, but I know for a fact that it's far more than this one individual. And I think it's the overwhelming majority of OGs in the club feel a certain way. And we just need an update. Garga says it's coming. And I think that the pressure's on. They have to deliver. And I believe they're going to. If they don't, and there's nothing for the club members, you're going to see a lot of people leave the club. Pretty sure.
Before you get Von front in here too, it's because he might go this direction, so I'll potentially steal his thunder. I know that they said there's going to be some stuff at ApeFest that you're going to be able to some stuff at ApeFest that you're going to be able to purchase, and there's some limited quantities in the pre-sale. More so you now have to make a special sort of trip, right? To
merch, right? This is the whole
right.
point. Avoid the lines, avoid having to, stand in line during ApeFest. Like,
Right. Like I have a pretty busy ApeFest schedule. I have like 3 people in my inbox I need to reply to or talking about meetings I may or may not have time to take in ApeFest because there's a lot of events. I want to enjoy it with my friends, all those things. It's like sort of this combination of like work play event for me. It's like making a special stop at the merch, standing in line, going to the thing. It's like maybe it'll be well run, but it's like the whole point is like I would love to just press a button and have it delivered to my house. And I think like in a club it makes a lot of sense. So I'm front and go ahead and get in here.
All right. So for everyone who has not read the fine print, I want you to think of the merch in 3 different buckets. Bucket number 1 is the one that's available today. It is available through, I think maybe today's the last day, maybe it's tomorrow, I forget, where you pre-order to pick up at ApeFest physically, so you will have it physically with you in Vegas. That's bucket 1. Bucket 2 is the dreaded merch line at Area 15 that you can go and shop and buy, again, physically receive it in Vegas. Bucket 3 is also, I think it's this Friday, it opens up online to the world. You can go in, order it online, have it shipped to your house. The only downside is you don't get to wear it around the strip. All 3 buckets are available. There are quantities associated with each bucket, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So if you missed out on something in this current round, if you're going to Vegas, you got 2 more rounds. If you are not going to Vegas, you still got 1 more round.
So there will be another round release with limited quantities at some point, and at that point, I will be able to buy on. So maybe I'll grab the cards.
Yeah.
And
I think it's Friday. It opens up. Again, it's in the tweet. Like, go back. It is in the tweet. It is in the Discord. I just don't have it handy. Where they kind of map out, like, if you can't make it to ApeFest, you can still buy ApeFest merch online, have it shipped to your house. That goes live. I think it's Friday, but somebody can find the tweet and get the right date and time on that.
All right. Well, I'll keep an eye out for that. It's just, like I said, like, I don't know. Like, we have the technology to connect a wallet and just say, like, do you own this? Get this one, buy this one thing. I don't know. Go ahead, Cap. Sorry.
I think I answered my own question. I guess the why limit is that's the supply they'll have available for pickup. Is why they limited the first round.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I won't keep harping on it. It's just, that's my one thing. It's not just Bored Apes, by the way. It's like, that's how these things always work. People are like, hey, you have a Pudgy Penguin? Like, you have to, this sale is open to anybody to get this thing, and you need to click real quick. It's like, we have NFTs, which allow you to connect a wallet and seamlessly, like, this is what VFriends did incredibly well, not to keep pleasing VFriends, where it's like, connect your NFT, click it, buy the Tops box. You have 24 hours, 48 hours to buy the Tops, Chrome or whatever. And then and then we're selling for a lot more on secondary. Like, these things exist where it's like, I love the blockchain mechanics and how it could potentially work and sort of push those things forward. So, like, that's my one thing. But, like, again, I'm excited for it. It's, I'm excited for ApeFest personally. I'm excited to talk about ApeFest. Yeah, like that said, like, do you want to do, I know we're going to bring on Baron. We're going to talk a little ApeFest here in a second. Joey Vowell, send me your abstract global wallet, by the way. Make sure you send me your abstract global wallet. And I also need to get Thomas's as well, just to make sure I can send your Death Fund cash that we have done from our Death Fund game. Maybe we rock what do you think? We just do daily market update, then roll an ApeFest?
Let's do it.
Been a couple of days. Let's go through.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on Ape Chain, we bringing the heat. NFTs, fence alpha, never miss a beat. Ape Chain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, figures now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop for one time.
It's time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Also home of Project Raid, bringing ApeCoin all over the place to proliferate it, hyper-financialize it. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap, we got Chop.
Yeah, and
Chop slash down. What's going on with Hyperliquid?
Well, speaking of the ApeChain Raid, I am grinding here last couple of days. I don't know if you saw it yesterday. I've been flipped officially by
well, you put them in GM tweets, and I believe Walt Chain said that GM is not good. with it.
Oh, really?
I thought the date specifically said no GMs, and you've been GMing hard, so it probably is nerfing a little bit on there.
Get nerfing myself. Wasn't aware. Thanks for the tips once again.
I mean, I gotta not give out too many tips. I told Grateful, and now Grateful flipped us all. I basically, it's not even exaggeration to say that if I had not bothered Grateful about this, Grateful would not be placing. I told him exactly what to do, and he went and ran as hard as he did at Somnia, and so he's gonna be cooking.
Yeah. So Mintify made a change to their UX, so we'll start there, and then we'll flip over to OpenSea for the NFT look, because it's not, at least not registering. I don't think they pulled it up permanently, but it's not. NFTs aren't popping on their first front page here. But starting with majors, Bitcoin down 1% to 107,932, ETH down 1% to 38.46, XRP down 1% to 240, Solana flat at 185, Doge down 2% to 19 cents, Cardano down 1% to 63 cents. Looking at memes, it's Pingu down 3%, Pump Fund down 3%, Pepe down 1%, Meme Core again trading. It's hilarious. It trades inverted to the market. Meme Core up 8%, Sheeb down 1%, Doge down 2%, and our favorite Ape is on the day. Ape is flat, basically, not even down 1%. So on a day of red, it's the big winner of the day by being essentially flat. Yeah, let me flip over here to OpenSea. I got to try to zoom in. This isn't the best thing to show on screen. Is this coming together okay?
It's pretty small. Give it a couple more zooms and you should be good. Like maybe 2 more. That's probably better.
All right, so I'll get this sorted out. We'll get a new charts to look at. DX Terminal, the OpenSea farm is flat on the day. This is sorted by volume here. You mentioned Hyperliquid. We'll go back to that in a second. Hypers are down 5% on the day to 1,149 hype. Big Pudgy's up 1% to 7.21. Flipping Apes heading into ApeFest week. I think this will change by the end of the week. Apes just basically flat down 0.6% to 7.15. Kempers up slightly at 0.87. Moonbirds down 6% to 2.6. Mutants down 2.5% to 1.09. Little Pudgy's down 1% to 0.85. Punks down 1.2% to 40.5. V1 Punks down 12%. Milady's down 4%. And Good Vibes, little bounce again, up 1.7% to 0.7. Big dip in Crypto Dick Butts, down almost 20% to 0.91. Doodles down 1.5%. And Mythic's down 2%. That's Pudgy Rod's a big pump. I'm curious what, probably a sweep or something driving that. But that's essentially our daily market update, brought to you by ApeChain, ApeCoin on top, ApeChain on top, the home of Otherside, the home of NFTs, and most importantly, the home of ApeFest, and where the biggest thing I think, more so than merch, Steve. I'm excited. We'll shift topics here in a second and talk Baron. Like, they've crushed it with ComplexCon. Like, it is the flagship sponsor, seemingly. I don't know if you saw the ComplexCon tweets themselves, but key partner there, and you love to see that. Love the deep sponsorship, and looking forward to seeing what comes out of that. Introducing ComplexCon attendees to the club, and see if it creates any little bit of a groundswell there in terms of speaking of new members and whatnot. I think that could be exciting. I think it's a good approach. I like the one day ApeFest, heading into a bigger conference, and being the spot to be, the booths to be at these conferences. They're going to have some pretty cool collaborations that will be exclusive to the ApeCoin ApeChain booth, and love to see it. Let me.
Yeah.
You asked about Hyperliquid though. What is up with Hype? Hype is down 1% on the day, 9% on the week. Everything's been murdered though. I think it was Joey mentioned, like, Wrecked is getting killed, and while it's down, it's like in line with everything. Like, everything is down bad. Like, Solana's down 25% in the last month. Like, I don't know. It's hard to find a winner. Like, since October 10th, the great liquidation day. I mean, it's not good. Like, we need
Downtober as fuck, right? I mean, like, it's been
October across the board. So yeah, hype down. Yeah, but so is everything. Like, find me a token that is up over the last month, and that's a sign of strength. But yeah, I don't think something being down 20-30% in the past month like, could it be over? Sure. I mean, anything could go to zero, as we mentioned. I don't think you can pull out like, oh, this token Pingu's down, in the yeah, so is everything else, and if you can find one that's down single digits in the last month, that's a sign of a good strength. Like, it's just something being down, unless it's down 90% in the past month. I don't think it's as bad as doom and gloom as some people might make it out to be, or might feel. If it's your bag is down, 25% in the last month, well, that's actually outperforming a lot of, in some cases, even majors. Like, it's,
well, not majors, but yeah, I mean, like,
Solana's literally down 17% in the last month.
Yeah, well, it's down 16% in the last month, but like, to give you examples, like Hyperliquid down 26%, Pudgy down 30%, Pump Fund down 40%, Rec down 33%. So it is dipping harder than majors, for sure.
Maybe, but not by much. I mean, because in the last month, Solana's down 17%. But it ran up prior to that. Like, it was up to like almost 240 before October 10th. And so it's down from 240 to 185. That's happened this month.
If you want to add in more time,
not even a full month, in the last 2 weeks, Solana's down from 240 to 185.
On a 30-day scale, Solana's down 16%, and in a 60-day scale, they're down about 8%. And again, like, that's like the, when you look at, like, again, like a hype, it's like about 2x down from that. Rex way more. I mean, Rex down 55% in the past 60 days comparatively to like Solana, like you said, which is down 8%. So I think there are some bags that are definitely hurting a little more, not just like sort of bag bias of like, hey, I own these things, but definitely some ones that are hurting because they're just, hurting. And it's running a token's hard, man. Having a team with a token, it is a hard thing that you got to keep an eye on. It's like Pengu being down 41%. I mean, that is, 5 times worse than Solana. Like, to give that as the example of the one that's dropped the most, 2x worse than Solana in the past 30 days, 2x worse than Solana in the past week. What's that?
I thought about selling my Pingu bag this morning.
I mean,
like, Abstract's not like, it's just like they did something to the XP over there again. I've locked in that gold tier, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Speaking of, like, what are their plans? What are they going to do? Like, I don't know what their plans are. It's no, it's a long game. There's nothing really productive for me to do with my Pingu right now. I guess I could probably go LP it somewhere, but just like having it sit on Abstract to earn XP is not. I don't think it's the best use of.
I mean, it's like the capital at some point. Like, I actually had some people who were
by comparison, not just pumping our guest affiliation bags today, but there's near limitless things to do with ApeCoin right now. Like, this like I sent it this morning, it's no joke. Like, the Binance rewards the Binance boost is more than double what the rewards were for the entire Ape Chain raid program. And I think there's far less participants. Like, there's a lot of places to go earn significant yield and rewards if you're holding alts. And I could just be missing it, but basically I've been holding that Pingu to get the boost for XP on Abstract, and I think I've just reached a point of diminishing returns. Like, I don't know as if any extra XP is going to help me at all at this point. I think I've kind of locked in where I'm going to get, and probably time to move on.
Yeah, I thought about that. I got some, and we'll pivot to Baron here in a second. But yeah, I got some.
I said I need to load some ApeChain on, or ApeCoin on Binance today. I'm probably going to rotate a portion, if not all, my Pingu bag into Ape and put it on Binance. Chase that game.
I mean, it's like I got some flack. It was probably about a month ago, I want to say. I'll have to check the blockchain. I sold Pengu, and I sold a bunch of Pengu, and I sold some Rect. And people are like, oop, selling the bottom, going to be a bottom signal, not the great, yada, yada, yada. In that month, if it's 30 days, Pengu is down 30% and Rect is down 33%. They are the 2 worst performing coins on a 30-day basis in my portfolio. Pump I haven't had for 30 days. So I think that's like less, I bought, buying Pump I was LPing it. It just slid over there. But like, it's just a good reminder to run your own race, because people are like, don't fade, you'll miss the upside. It's like, I've put it into more productive places. Even stablecoin is a more productive place right now, but I've stabled some of it. I put some of it in some Katana vaults. I use some of it to pay some bills. Like, and I'm similar to you, where it's like, at some point, I think I'm just going to cut the cord on Pengu as a token, because I'm not sure directionally what's happening or where it's going. Like, I feel like we keep hearing the announcement, the pump, the do not fade, the this, that, and the other. I mean, what was I mean, if you looked at, I'll do the math. I mean, if you look at 88K Pengu, which was the number you needed for that boost, however many months ago, it's like that's 30%. Like, you're looking at something going like $3,000 to $2,000, or whatever the number is, pretty quickly there. And so it's a pretty big material loss. So it's just making sure that you're tending to your garden, I think, is pretty important, and being comfortable and confident in what you're doing. And again, I got some flack for some of the sales I was making, because I think some people were like, you're selling the bottom, and turns out that wasn't the wrong move to do at the time. In fact, it was the good move. And so even if you majored it would have lost less. So I mean, my belief isn't going anywhere in crypto as a whole, but Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, to an extent, Hype, Polygon, ApeCoin, Flow, some of the things that are out there are great, but some of these alts, I just don't know what the long-term plan is on some of them. And I think if the market jumps up, we'll see a bunch of them, kind of skyrocket. But
that's the thesis, right? That's why the hold is, when the market's like this, when it's choppy to down only, alts are going to suck. But just as they can suck worse than majors to the downside, they also can outpace majors to the upside. It's part of you're further out on the risk curve. It's more volatile, both directions. And the reason not to sell is we get an actual alt season. Maybe it doesn't happen, and then you're just bleeding out. But there is a world where this flips, and next month sold up 16%, and all those alts you just mentioned are up 50 to 100%. It's happened before, and it probably is going to happen again. It is also key to make sure you're actually holding ones that will pump if there's an alt season.
Yeah. Let's do this. We're gonna go to Baron in a second. Oxy only comes up when he's something.
That's what I was gonna say too. I wanted to get Oxy's big brain in here, and then we will excited to dive deep on all things ApeFest with our friend Baron.
Yeah. So Oxy speaks when he has something to say, which I always appreciate, not just to talk, which is a great play. So Oxy, go ahead and jump in here. Give it say not super long if you don't mind, just because we're gonna run to our special guest, but I want to make sure definitely get you in here, GM.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what I'm just going to say is the cost of capital for a lot of these different farms that these protocols are having us do it's just way too high. The question of are we farming a protocol or are we getting farmed? When I understand building a chain is really, really difficult, but at a certain point, it's the teams that can operate and execute the fastest, those are the people that are going to be winning. And if you take months and months and months to deploy a product, and you just farm your users for a time period that's just too long for the space, quite frankly, it's just harder to hang on. So I'm with you. At a certain point, I'm I just can't be locking this money up in this particular protocol. As good as it might be down the line, my opportunity cost is just way too high, especially in crypto. So I completely agree with you. And it's you just got to execute quicker in this space, it feels like.
Yeah. For every person who went all in on something and got absolutely rich and cooked, there's people who went all in on something and just absolutely, did not cook. So I think it's just important to know where you stand and make sure you are, appropriately trading that stuff and understanding yes, someone's there's somebody who's I'm going to eat on art gobblers, buying them at 13 ETH or whatever. And then they didn't, right? For every person that bought Bored Apes at, 2 ETH and said, I'm going to cook on these, or 10 ETH or whatever. So I just think be careful out there. Make sure you are, you're thoughtful about the way that you're doing it, and only you can run your personal race and your comfort level. And that's just how I approach things, is I am very comfortable in my own lane, making my own decisions on things. And, it's how you figure out. Sometimes I get wrecked, sometimes successful, but good words of wisdom. The way you put that too, the cost of this sort of thing, people talk about the cost of, are we being farmed? Are we farming? It's the cost of doing some of these things. Understand the opportunity cost and what it is actually going to cost you when you have money deployed in, the Pengu is a great example. If you bought the 88K Pengu, any time in the past 3 months, you're down a lot more than that abstract XP is probably going to be worth. So it's a perfect example of that. And it's a problem abstract has to reckon with, as they do it. But cap on to more positive things. We are going to get to hang out in Vegas very, very soon. Tomorrow I am on a plane. Gonna see Von Frunten in my when I change planes at the Delta Lounge. Although I only have an hour and a half layover, so we'll see how long it takes for me to get there. And then I'm gonna see Tebow as soon as I land in the airport with Von Frunten. So I'm gonna be slowly picking up apes on my way to ApeFest as we get ready to go to the Ape Hotel and enjoy the week. But packed week of activities going on, Cap. So I don't know. I'll let you kind of kick it off because I know you're more locked in than I am with my kind of crazy schedule that I've had lately as I'm figuring shit out.
Well, I appreciate it, but locked in, I am not. I too have been a little out of pocket the last few days, so I'm excited to dive into this because I don't know what I'm going to be doing in Vegas once we get out there. I'm there. I'm going to be in Vegas. Other than the one thing I have circled, well, I've got obviously ApeFest itself circled. Other than that, this poker tournament that I'm going to win on Sunday morning is circled on my calendar, but that's it. So excited to talk with Baron and what all are the, and there's a lot. So we're probably going to put him on the spot a little bit because there's probably some overlap, and he's not going to want to get in hot water and tell people to go to one event over another. But as always, they did an incredible job with the official ApeFest event, with the collaborations at ComplexCon, as well as seemingly nonstop community events from, I mean, before today. I saw, that like Aloe's out there, the Aloe Villa rocking and some fun events already. And those will drag into or go into at least Sunday, if not Monday of next week. So that said, I appreciate Baron joining us bright and early out there on the West Coast. Always a pleasure. And looking forward to diving into this ApeFest preview and maybe a little alpha. I saw Rita put out a post saying, make sure you delegate your Glyph wallet. Could be some surprise there. And he said he doesn't know anything, just a planning ahead. But Baron, GM, sir, thanks so much for joining us and welcome.
I also saw that post by Rita and was just as confused. I was like, what does he know? Because I don't know anything about airdrops or anything. But what I have gotten is a few community members saying, like last year, we all got a nice little airdrop from, I believe it was Harry Lou's team after we all scanned our ApeFest ticket in. I think there's other communities that might be doing something like that. I know Darth Vader messaged me that there's a finance something that they're running with. I'm not even going to try to say the name because I don't have it locked in right now because it is early, guys. It is super early, but I'm heading to the airport in a little bit, so I was able to wake up just as early and come and stop by it. Whatever alpha you guys want, I will do my best to say. There's a lot going on this weekend. I'll give you the synopsis because I've been giving synopsises all week leading up. So ApeFest is the main event. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to leave it at that. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be super fun on Friday. Saturday, there is ComplexCon in the morning. That apes get Ape Premiere access time, which is 10 a.m. both Saturday and Sunday morning. Once again, you want to go there during the Ape Premiere time. Apes, you have a special time for a reason. Make sure to utilize it. I know it's going to be tough because Friday party goes from 6 to midnight, and then there's the after party, and I'm sure there's just Vegas degeneracy that will be happening because it's Friday night. So 10 o'clock in the morning to get to ComplexCon might be a challenge, but I promise you those Grail pieces that we've been putting out on the timeline, the J-Tips, the Sean Weatherspoon pieces, the John Geiger shoes.
Can you I'm going to pull up the pictures here in a second. But can you expand on these artists, these for those that may not be familiar, any background that you're aware of on these collaborations?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do my best. So we have John Geiger, who is one of the sneaker creators of the year. We have J-Tips, who also is one of the sneaker creators of the year, and also just a super sick artist. I'm not going to share the alpha there because there is something I can say, but I'm like, that's not mine to say. Sean Witherspoon is Sean fucking Witherspoon, the goddamn cultural legend that he is. Curator, creator, artist, and just a super, super cool person that got to meet when we were doing the photo shoot for the ComplexCon items. It's going to be sick, guys. It's going to be incredibly cool. Now, here's the super alpha is all of those pieces that you saw, the hoodie, the hat, the sneakers, those are not for sale. Ooh. They're not. You have to win them. And Garga kind of hinted at that it's a giant gumball machine of sorts. We're not going to go further than that. Come to Complex Con Saturday and Sunday and see what the fuck is in the booth. It'll be worth your time. It's going to be super fun. With that said, Saturday is going to be a busy day because Complex Con line opens at 10 a.m. Regular admission opens at 11. And then at 2 o'clock, we have the HyperX event with the other side stuff that's happening at 2 o'clock at the Luxor. And that's going to be from 2 to 6. And then right after that, we're running back to Complex Con Saturday night for their concert that starts at 7. I think you got like Peso Pluma kicking it off and many other young, amazing, talented artists. I've been listening to Peso Pluma all week here. But that's just Saturday. And then Sunday, early morning, you got the poker tournament for all you DGens. We are completely filled up on that tournament. There's close to 300 people signed up. If you want to play and you missed it and you're like, damn, I really want to be part of the first ever Bored Ape Yacht Club Poker Classic tournament, there is a wait list. So you can sign up and get on that wait list. And then you're going to want to get to the casino early in the morning to see if anyone didn't show up for their reserve spot so you can get off the wait list and jump into the tournament. This is a mouthful. Poker starts at 9:30 for registration. Tournament starts at 10. You want to get there a little bit early because poker players, you need a Venetian player card before you can even sign up for the poker tournament. So you want to grab that first.
This is real alpha for anyone playing. Make sure you go pay attention because you don't want to roll in at 10 o'clock, not have your card, and end up getting blinded out the first few hands.
Yeah, and there will be late registration for the first round, like a normal poker tournament. You know, the Venetian poker room is a fantastic place to play poker, so they'll handle all the the normal stuff that you'd have to worry about. But the most important thing: get your player's card. Go to the cage there. You're going to register. You scan in. When you do that, your $50 will be reimbursed that you held, your deposit initially, and then you're going to pay your entry fee right there, guys. Not only is that going to be super fun, there's hundreds of apes that are signed up for it. You have no idea who's going to be at your table. Another fun little bit, there's a bounty on 5 players. Garga, PP Man, Spicy, Diana, who is a team member of the Yuga team, and then myself. All 5 of those players have 1,000 ape bounty on our heads. Love it. So if you knock any of us out of the tournament, you'll win 1,000 ape coin. And then, we'll have to connect afterwards. I'll get those ETH addresses and you'll get sent that ape coin later on. And then there's like a few other Sunday events, and that's just the official events. There's a ton of community events scattered in between. There's paintball kicking off, I think this morning or tomorrow morning. What day is it? Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah,
tomorrow's paintball. And then it's like Gucci's pool party with the G's. And then it's, the creator hub starts opening, I believe, at 7. And then it's ASIF's after party. And then boom, it's Friday. You wake up early, guys. We're going to do another post soon. And it's a reminder that the pre-sale merch stuff ends Thursday night, I believe. Let me double check on that. I'm pretty sure it ends Thursday night at like 11:59. So that Friday, when you wake up, 12 to 5, you're going to go to Area 51. Where you're going to get a blast. You're going to get a little notification says your merch is ready to come pick it up. 12 to 5, you go to Area 15 and you'll get your merch. This is the only way you're going to be able to wear merch from ApeFest at ApeFest, because during ApeFest, we're not selling anything merch related. The store will be there to look and see the merch, but it's closed because we don't want you stuck in a line when there's Kodak Black or Blau or Clips or Big Boy performing, because ApeFest is going to go fast. It's going to be a movie, guys. It's going to be so sick. I did my best to synopsize as much as I could. Any questions, you're absolutely welcome. It's going to be super fun. My number 1 tip for Vegas: hydrate. Drink as much water as you can as you're moving around. Whether or not you're drinking, partaking, and biting, whatever, like drink as much water as you can, because even though it's only a weekend, a lot of us are computer nerds, myself included. I'm not an active runner. I see Cap out here posting his sexy man pictures, where I'm not a gym rat. Like most of us, if we go for a walk, we're gassed. So drink water. It's going to be super fun.
Yeah, drink water and give yourself plenty of time to get around Vegas. You may look, I can walk across the street. You could, I'll never forget one time I was at the Sands and I had to walk to a meeting at Caesars, and I was in a full suit. And I walked to said meeting, and by the time I got to said meeting, I may as well jumped in a shower with my suit on. Like I was drenched in sweat. Like it is the desert, and just because something's on the strip, you might have to walk a mile back, like the driveway to get to the hotel. Like it's on another scale if you've never been. So give yourself plenty of time.
With that said, like Complex Con and Luxor are on different parts of the strip in a sense, right? So if you're trying to go from Complex Con to the HyperX event, you get there at 10 a.m., you go to the Bored Ape Yacht Club exhibit, you're having fun there, you do whatever there is to be done there, you go look around, Complex Con, and you're like, shit, I want to get to HyperX. Give yourself some time, because it's not like a quick jump in. Yep. And there's a lot of side events, like ancillary events that are happening in Vegas this weekend that are not our events. There's a lowrider event, there's a skateboarding event, there's set up for some races, there's a lot of other stuff. So give yourself time to get from point A to point B.
And expanding on that, this is a great alpha. Expand on that. If you're accustomed to just walking out, grabbing an Uber, and going to where you need to go, you can get Ubers in Vegas. Just know that they're probably not right out the door. It's very much a taxi city. You'll probably ride more taxis this weekend than you have in the last year combined. And often there is very long taxi lines when these events are popping off. Like you might have to wait in a line for a half hour to get a taxi to get to where you're going. So if you're, you don't want to be late to something, make sure you give yourself plenty of time, and don't just trust like, oh, you pull up Google Maps and say, oh, you can get there in 5 minutes. It could be, it might take you a half hour just to get a cab to get you there. So give yourself plenty of time. It seems like everything's close together, but it really is on another scale. Vegas is like a different. I'd say different country. It's probably more appropriate to say it's like a different planet. It's one of a kind. We'll go right back to you in a second. One thing I did want to share, because I think this is pretty impactful. The post I pulled up here is from the ComplexCon account. Bored Ape Yacht Club's taking over ComplexCon as the official blockchain partner. BAYC is bringing exclusive merch, collabs, and more perks all throughout the weekend. Pull up, sponsored by Bored Ape Yacht Club. You can see this post has 26,000 views, 399 likes, 136 reposts, 8 bookmarks, 99 comments. ComplexCon has kind of a small X account. It's not their primary distribution channel, but they do have 31,000 followers. Just take a peek here at their feed. The Bored Ape Yacht Club post, almost 400 likes, 26,000 impressions. The one prior to that, 5 likes, 1,200 impressions. The one prior to that, 19 likes, 2,000 impressions. The one prior to that, 12 likes. You get the point here. Apes come hard on socials. They did this with BMW. Maybe this has nothing to do with it. I believe the reason that BMW has continued to partner with the Bored Ape Yacht Club is because the support they get. It's if I'm not mistaken, I think the Hong Kong BMW post was their best social post of the year. This is probably going to be ComplexCon's best social post of the year. This is the power of Web3. So even if you're not going to ApeFest, even if you're not a fan of the Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem, my ask for everyone now is go ahead up top, give this post some love. You don't have to retweet it if you don't want to. You don't have to quote tweet if you don't want to. At least go like it, give it a bookmark. This is like, we've seen it in terms of how this community can take new products and get instant traction, like that 0 to 1 moment. Same thing here. We're talking about new partners and new collaborations, like showing them love, and how the crypto community comes so hard, especially as it relates to crypto Twitter. Shout out to the 3 of you who just went and liked that as I was talking through it. But yeah, again, if you haven't already done so, go give that post some love. Let's get some more impressions on that and really run this thing up. And I'll be shocked if this isn't if there's another post that tops this one. It's probably something live. It's probably tagging Bored Ape Yacht Club while they're at ComplexCon or something. But yeah, I think this is like the small things that Baron's probably not going to ask you to do. Garga's not going to ask you to do. I will, as a community member. I think this is part of the value of why would a ComplexCon, fill in the blank, why would a large BMW, why would a large brand partner with a crypto native brand? This is part of the reason. We come strong. We pull up, as they say, and it's not just numbers on a post. It's like, I'm near certain, like, attention will be captured at ComplexCon, not just us wearing merch. You mentioned the special line. Like there's really something magical here. I'm not quite finding the exact words for it, but I think just looking at this post alone and seeing, how impactful it is. They just sent this out 15 hours ago and it's already their best post of the year. Like, appreciate everyone who's already done that. And I think this stuff matters more than maybe even meets the eye in the short term. Baron, go ahead and get back in here. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I wanted to piggyback off what you said is we have the Ape Premier line, and from my understanding, this is the first time ComplexCon has done something like that. So to Cap's point, like you don't get to do something that's a first of a kind at a culturally relevant and super important event without having a sort of presence that shows up with it, right? And apes show up. It's what we do. Every ApeFest I can remember, standing in lines with apes was always half of the fun. Now, don't get me wrong, they're going to do their best to not have lines. And Ape Premier access at 10 and 11 morning, the only people you're going to see in line are apes who are most likely homies or people that are going to be your friends by the end of the day. So utilize that time. With that said, the 10 a.m., we've been saying go at 10 a.m. for apes. That's not the only time you can go and win, right? The booth will be open all day. It'll be open all day, Saturday and Sunday. So if you can't make it at 10 a.m., it's not the end of the world. It's not like, oh, that's the best time only. It is a great time. It is a time set aside for a reason. But if you get there later on in the day because of whatever, there's stuff going on all day long. And there's certain prizes, guys, that haven't been posted that when they go on the timeline, whoever the fuck wins them is going to be so stoked. Like there's things in there that I wish I could have. Employees are not allowed to win, but goddamn, there's some grails in there that I'm so jealous of. I'm just going to say some things. I don't know if I'm allowed to or not, but fuck it. For the certain items, like I'm just going to say the shoes. That's the one thing I'll say is John Geiger made 3 different variations of that Bored Ape sneaker that we've seen posted, that he posted, that we posted. There are ones that are rare. There's ones that are super rare. And then there's a one of one.
Ooh.
I don't know who's going to win that, how that's going to go, whatever. But whoever gets that is going to be one lucky SOB because that's so cool. There's going to be, this is the weekend that I've seen that I know there's more one of ones for the club than anything. If you play in that poker tournament and you win a one of one bracelet made by Crypto Jeweler that I've gotten to see. And it is so fucking beautiful. It's not only like an amazing piece of merch, it's an actual piece of amazing jewelry. And someone made a joke, like it actually went up in price the other day when gold went up, in value, I mean. So there's a lot of cool stuff to be had. But with the ComplexCon, the merch isn't only going to go to club members. It's going to go to attendance of ComplexCon as well. And that's a win for the club. We want IP proliferation. We want people walking around going, hey, what's that sick hoodie? What are those crazy hats you got on, right? Like, how'd you get that? What is the Bored Ape Yacht Club? And then we start to have this conversation a little bit more. And as you walk around ComplexCon, just take it in. It's going to be pretty cool that the Bored Ape Yacht Club is the premier sponsor right there for some of the things that they've got access to do.
Pretty sweet. And I love, like, as a member, I hope I win. I think it would be a miss if only club members could win this stuff. I think.
Let me say this, Cap, too. Every single person that goes will win something.
Okay.
You will not show up and not win.
Even non-club members?
Every single person that shows up will win something.
Yeah, well done. Like this is how you do collaborations. This is how, like you said, this is a first of a kind in terms of ComplexCon doing an exclusive partnership like this. Like it's a big deal. And again, everyone who's attending, like this is alpha. Go participate, not just because you're going to win something. We need to do our part, right? Like Baron and team and everyone's put in countless hours pulling off these collaborations, making this event become a reality, bringing in these massive names. Even if it's not your thing, even if you're not a sneakerhead, this is sneaker, the guy who created the sneaker of the year. Like this is a big cultural thing, and go support, show up, let it be the like turn ComplexCon's head. So just like BMW was the one who originally reached out to the Bored Ape Yacht Club wanting to collaborate. Next year, ComplexCon should be, hey, can you guys come back again? We want to partner up because we've never experienced anything like this before. And I don't say this like tongue. I truly believe as a group, we have the ability to do this. Unlike any real other groups outside of, I don't know if anything, I can't think of any group, any ecosystem, any community outside of crypto and Web3 that moves like crypto communities do. And it's not just apes. Apes, I'm, you know, we're the closest to. We probably, not probably, we do have a bias, but it's more than just apes. There's a lot of crypto communities that roll really hard. They show up big, and people who aren't here, just like complex cons, I'm guessing their jaws, like their social person's going to wake up this morning like, what in the hell? Because you see, like they're used to getting a couple dozen impressions. Now they got 26,000. Like this is, it's hard not to notice and them to pay attention and want more of that, right? So yeah, it's exciting, really well done from an execution standpoint leading up to it. And the fact that it's not just an ape booth, I think this is the way. And I hope this leads to more of these types of events. Like I know maybe it's not everyone's thing. When I saw the schedule and how it was going to be a 1-day ApeFest followed by 2 days of ComplexCon, I think this is the way. I'd love to see a similar format in future, but whether it's, you know, piggybacking off ComplexCon or another, you know, major cultural event, that's how we're going to introduce new people to the club, not having an ApeFest where it's just us that are already here. And maybe,
well, let me piggyback on that before real quick. And I do got to jump soon because I got to jump to the airport. But you know, in the past when we'd have our events, a lot of people were always like, how can we, let's use last year's bodega, for example. It was public. There was people there, but it wasn't public enough. There wasn't enough public to see what the club was doing, right? Because there's so many cool builders. This is the club literally putting itself at the center of a very culturally active place and saying, hey, welcome to the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Learn about us. Simply as that, you know? And there couldn't be a better time to do it lined up, because it's like people want to have this epic event. Boom, you have it. You want to have a place to go talk with your friends quietly. Boom, you have it. Like there's all these different spectrums of activities, but it's not just about ComplexCon. It's about the weekend, right? So ApeFest itself, the primary party, it's going to be fucking crazy. It's quick, guys, in timing that it's 6 to 12. So make sure that you're there for the entirety of the event, if you can be there for the entirety of the event. It is jam-packed with things to do. Not only are there the 4 performers, but sorry, my alarm went off. Not only are there the 4 performers, but there's so much to do at Area 15. I mean, there's axe throwing, there's zip lines, there's all these different things. So, you know, if you're like, I'm over here and I'm not maybe feeling this musician, I'm gonna go explore over here. And, you know, there's still more surprise and delight moments coming. So just get excited. It's coming. It's going to be a blast. If you want to play poker or you don't want to play poker, either way, at the Venetian on Sunday, there is going to be a corresponding event that the Southwest Apes put on.
Cool. That
will be running at the same time. So if you don't want to play, you can go hang out there. As you lose from the tournament, you can trickle over there. And then at 4 p.m., that's where the award ceremony will be done for whoever won the bracelet, the bounties, whatever else.
Love it. I love the bounties. I'm going to throw it out there because I already threw it out to one other member on the leadership team. If you're feeling, if the team is feeling generous and they want to spice up, and like the bounties are awesome, and I will be going hard. I'll shove a few times if any of you are at my table just for a shot at the bounty. More so for the pride than in the bragging rights than the 1,000 ape, but don't get me wrong, I'll throw that 1,000 ape on Binance and we'll make it 2,000 ape with that boost over there. But the one suggestion is if we're feeling generous and want to really sweeten up that pot is in addition to the bracelet, take one of those punks out of the vault and or an ape and dangle that to the winner as well. That's no expectations of that, but that was my
Top three. Let's get
top
crazy.
Let's do top 10, maybe. Final table. Everyone on the final table gets a punk.
Cheating 101. We start with 10, we move to 5. Maybe we land on 3. But yeah, if top 3 are getting punks, then everybody's going to feel real good. That's going to get a lot of pump on the timeline.
He's not saying no. He's not saying no. There's a chance.
So,
Baron, I know you got to get out of here soon. You got to head to the airport. I really appreciate your time this morning. You got a crazy schedule, crazy day, and it's super early out there for you. Is there anything we haven't asked you about or anything we haven't hit on ApeFest that you really want to share this morning?
I feel like I shared as much as I can share, to be honest with you. Just have fun, pace yourself. If you need anything, there's going to be Yuga team around the event everywhere. If you have any questions, IDB will be at ApeFest, so he'll be there to support if you see him around. Lost, Spen, Vi, myself. If you bet that Baron will have pink hair at ApeFest, guess what? You just won, because I've got pink hair today. So if you see a dude with pink hair and you seem lost, confused, need help, whatever, come up to me, let me know that you need something. I'll do my best to get you sorted. Besides that, have fucking fun. It's going to be a blast. It's going to go super quick. Keep your eyes open for things that you can get along the way as an ape. That'll be super cool. And that's it. If you have any last questions, let me know. I got like 5 minutes.
My last question, a super serious one, is Coda staying in the suitcase, or did you take her out before you get on the plane?
Oh my God, dude, that's the cutest shit ever. Every single time I pack, she just stands on the other side of the suitcase and looks at me like, all right, let's go. She is currently snuggled up in bed, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get to the airport without waking her up.
Love it. Well, our chat this morning, you've inspired at least one person. KZ or Kazi in the chat says, officially changed flight. Now I'm coming on Thursday now. So you created at least a little bit of FOMO to get out there a day early and not miss those festivities. Steve, I'm kind of thinking about it, not so much about, I mean, yes, I don't want to miss things Thursday either, but more so just so I have an extra night of sleep out there, because I head to as I head East Coast to West Coast. Right now I'm scheduled up at like 5 a.m. Friday, and I get in super early, so I'm there all day Friday, and then I started thinking like, ooh, this after party is going to start at like 3 a.m. my time. So it'd be like a 24-hour day by the time I get up and head to the airport till that after party starts. So I might need some supplements throughout the day to keep me running strong. But truly looking forward to it. Steve, do you have anything else for Baron before we let him out of here?
No, I mean, I think you hit on a lot. Like, I have some more deep strategic questions, which I don't think are probably the right tone for the morning, as far as like, like in a good way, like sort of the idea of Complex Con and who that is as like an audience, and why that makes a lot of sense in sort of like understanding the logic of, I actually think the streetwear that we have for Bored Ape Yacht Club plays at Complex Con, right? Versus some other places. So I think it's like the right place for it's where, you look at that hoodie with the flowers, like I could see people who are way cooler than me wearing that around Complex Con and being like, yo, where'd you get that? So I love that idea. So no, just appreciate you coming on with this morning, Baron, and very excited for, look, I mean, it's the amount of events. Like I would just build on that and say, find your walking crew, hang out, be flexible to your plans, be willing to break your plans. Cause sometimes like somebody's going somewhere and they have a new event, and, just get excited, man. Cause it's an event that each year, like, you leave feeling a lot more energized with all of your friends. So appreciate you, Baron, and good luck getting to the airport and get everything settled out. I will be there tomorrow afternoon/night, and I'm sure we will hang out and hug many, many times. So looking forward to seeing you, my friend.
For sure. Getting a lot.
Yeah, we'll have to grab a picture together like we did at the New York Ape Fest, the second one. Last thing I'll say before I got to dip, I'm going to be bringing with me in my backpack on the airplane 5 mutant hats, 5 Bored Ape hats. As I see apes along the way to the hotel, if you have Bored Ape or mutant, let me know, and I'll just give you one of the hats until they're gone.
Love it. You might have given away more hats than anyone in crypto, more merch than anyone in crypto, if I'm not mistaken. Again, a lot of love in all the chats. I won't read them all to you, but you got people fired up this morning. So the people are excited, and including one that says they're exhausted just listening to you this morning from all the stuff going on. So looking forward to a jam-packed weekend. They say no sleep till ApeFest. I think it's probably more appropriate no sleep until after ApeFest this year. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's totally fair, man. Get through the weekend. It's going to go fast. Micro naps. And then you can sleep on Monday on the plane ride back home.
The question is, do I attempt to pull off this late night party at the Mike Tyson mansion? I think what I should probably do, Baron, is I'll go, and I don't drink, but I can go and order shots and get shots for everyone else. Do you have a roster of who's playing in the poker tournament on Sunday? Can I get that?
Yeah, absolutely. That was my same plan, is I'm going to get everyone wasted Saturday night so that we have the best chance to get that bracelet Sunday morning. But
all jokes aside, I genuinely am stoked. I think this is awesome. I mean, ApeFest is always awesome. Looking forward to hanging out with my friends. I will quote Peter of Board Brewing, who I think sums it up best. Looking forward, it's going to be fun, 100%. Knowing more and more awesome Web3 people each year is what I think I'm most excited about. Myself as well. It's expanding on those existing relationships, making some new ones. and I'm dead on serious when I say this. I'm giddy about this poker tournament because, yeah, do I want to win? Do I enjoy poker? Sure, but I'm not like some rounder. I don't play professionally. I can't tell you the last time I sat in a live game. But as far as like a opportunity to spend time with fellow club members and get to know that, like, it's a fun, engaging environment to do so. And I know poker's not everyone's thing, but I'm really excited about this, and more so than like our taking our shots there for juicing up the prize pool for the final table or the top three or the winner. I would love to see this become an annual event. That's my ask, is like, let's do it next year at the clubhouse maybe. But yeah, I really appreciate the time and energy that went into pulling this poker tournament together. And I hope even if for future ApeFest is not in Vegas, I would love this to become just the first of many annual ApeFest poker challenges. So thank you all for doing it.
And what a sick title to be one of the first 5 Bored Ape Yacht Club bounty hunters. I mean, that is good bragging rights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get the bracelet, and then that'll be my bragging rights when I win the whole damn thing. So excited for that. I need to I'm gonna probably play some practice rounds to get my just knock off the rust a little bit, because I think
that's a good call.
Yeah, I mean, I just need to like
I was trying to think last time I played was the Sugartown. The Sugartown did that. They did a few tournaments there on Abstract a while back, and I definitely was rusty the first few, and that knocked it off. But yeah, I'm probably gonna find a way to get in some games here today or tomorrow as well.
Yeah, just brush up on your poker math. Number of outs. And various things you're looking for. Putting your friends on hands. The 2x percentage times the amount of outs that you have left times the number of cards to come out. All that good stuff. All the poker math. Just reignite that stuff and get it going. It's my I think the poker math is the edge that most poker players have in understanding how it goes. So gonna get ready, dust off all of those numbers. There's 52 cards in a deck, kids, so it makes the math very easy if you just double it and do it out of 100 on your outs plus that's the alpha for you this morning, the most simple alpha.
And then there's some questions on the mansion party we were referencing. That's Saturday. That's on the Luma link pinned up top. That's the Fuck It Saturday Vegas, presented by BC Game and ApeCoin, hosted by Fuck It Productions. So that's hosted by Fuck It Productions, Mutant Cartel, and Boring Yachts are the 3 sponsors there. Ape ticket is $20. Ape plus 1 is $40. Non-ape holders can get in for $80. If you want to get a table, VIP tables are $1,500. VIP upgrades $80. So that's up top. And while Friday night's going to be tough for me, I'll at least go to the Saturday one. I'm probably not going to close it down because I do want to be fresh for Sunday morning, but I at least got to go there and see if I can get a few shots in Steve and a few of my other potential competitors Sunday.
I gotta speak at Harvard on Tuesday. I'm going to be taking it somewhat easy towards the tail end of that weekend, just to make give myself a little bit of room to breathe. But we'll make it work. But yeah, man, it's exciting stuff. Like, glad Baron was able to join us this morning. I'm excited for ApeFest. I always am. I think it's a good time to hang out with friends, and it's exhausting. And probably we'll spend some time off the beaten path a little bit. Some ApeFest, some other things, but we'll see. I'll probably, like I said, like I sort of have my things in planned, and I had a friend who like DM me like 14 Luma links, and like I probably register for everything that's free, but I'm probably not going to go too crazy though, because I don't want to be I don't know. I just don't want to. I want like at every ApeFest, at everything that we do, I tend to. I mean, I'm a big like, if you're a drinker, I'm a big like mix like 1 drink 1 water type thing, or 1 drink 1 ape water, 1 drink 1 liquid death, just back and forth type thing. So I'm going to try not to get too crazy with anything like that, because there's a lot to do, a lot of people to see, and meetings to be had. So we'll it's going to be a fun one. And for me, it's like sort of the unexpected trip to New York. Yeah, earlier in the week, and then I'm back for today, and then I'm traveling today through next Wednesday. So I'm too old for this stuff, man. I'm a old man. So it's going to be a busy week. But yeah, looking forward to getting just fun time of year, man. Fun time of year. What else you got, Cap? Go ahead. Took a breath.
No,
You had a thought.
really looking forward to it. And I need to, my day today, I've got a busy next 24 hours before I leave. I got a lot of stuff I got to get done. Probably wasn't optimal for me to be, I took a trip to Jacksonville over the weekend, and just got back last night. It was a good trip, had fun. But I've got a little bit of scrambling here today, because I definitely want to, I got to get registered for a few things, get packed, all that good stuff, and get my thoughts together for to maximize the weekend. I say all that, like, don't overthink it. Like Steve said, like, register for the free stuff, definitely have a plan, but also be flexible. It's unlikely that your plan, if you schedule out every hour of the day over ApeFest weekend, it's very unlikely that it's going to come together exactly as you plan. Like, you may be at an event and you're having a lot of fun and, oh, I got to go to this next one. From past experience, what you don't want to do is be having a great time, be in a great conversation at an event, and there's another event starting that you also registered for. And so you leave the event you're having a good time at because you got to go to this next event. You end up takes you a half hour to get a taxi, then you sit in traffic, and it takes you an hour and a half to get to the other place. By the time you get there, it's winding down, and you just basically spent 2 hours of good time trying to move around to one event to the other. So just make sure if you are a planner and you're really wanting to hit all the things, make sure you're mapping it out, and then I would add a half hour to the transit time, just to make sure you're not over. And it's also like, you don't want to feel overwhelmed. You want to have fun. Like, so just go with the flow, and it's okay if you don't make every event. You'll get to see all the people eventually. You may not see every event, but don't sweat it if you miss an event or there's something. But all that to be said, if you do register for something and you're not gonna be able to make it, do the right thing and unregister, free up those spots. There are some of these are limited capacity, and there's waitlist stuff. So just be thoughtful of that. Be thoughtful for your fellow apes and other participants, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And safe travels, everyone who is en route, not just KZ, who is on the way. Shout out to B-Man in the chat, says on hour 20 of 26 in transit to ApeFest, coming from Cape Town, looking to get the consolation prize for longest travel time to Vegas for first ApeFest. Awesome, man. Look, come say hello to Steve and myself. One of my favorite things is meeting new people, new apes at ApeFest, and just gave you the follow back there. So definitely come say hello. Remind me of the 20th, 26 in Cape Town. That'll refresh my memory. And there's several others that I've interacted with. This will be, I missed last year, unfortunately. This will be my fourth ApeFest of the 5. And every year, without fail, there's people that I meet for the first time in person that some I just met and we weren't even connected online. More often than not, though, it's people I've interacted with online for years. And this chance to put a face with the name. And it is it's one of those, I mean, we've all done it. You're talking with someone, you're having a cordial conversation, and then you pull up to make sure you're following each other, and you're like, and it hits you like, oh, and it's like you go from a stranger that you're meeting for the first time to this realization that it's, oh my goodness, this is my good friend. And you just big embrace. And I'm a hugger, by the way. So if you're not a hugger, give me the forewarning. I'm not trying to intrude on your personal space. It's me and how I move, but I understand it's not for everyone. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. Safe travels, everyone getting out there, and can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for the pump fund, or I mean the pump fund, the death fund to pin to the top as you say that. But I agree. I mean, it's like meeting new people, enjoying that sort of time together, and we'll just echo on your point. Like, there's been many times like where I've been at one event and I've just decided, look, do I want to book it across the city? Do I want to leave? And good things happen, and I make my choice to stay. So like, just don't get too much FOMO if you're like, look, like you will run yourself into the ground. I mean, I think it was NFT NYC #2 where you're running from place to place to place to place. And like,
no exaggeration. Steve and I believe, both pushed 4 figures of Uber bills that week. ApeFest 2.
It was absolutely.
I think mine was literally $700 and some in Ubers for 4 days.
Yeah. It was not. And plus I ended up taking a rickshaw somewhere that was like way overpriced. The guy definitely took me for a ride, both figuratively and literally.
I've heard the funniest stories on rickshaw. I kid you not, this past weekend about same experience. People were like thinking that like I just wanted a rickshaw, and they ended up getting, it was like an $800 rickshaw. He's like, you're smoking crack, buddy. I'm not giving you $800 for that ride. You gotta be upfront with people before dropping that on them.
Yeah, it's an insane thing that happens with rickshaws a little bit. But yeah, it's a what's that?
You have electric rickshaws now, so the guy's not even doing the work.
Not even doing the work. Yeah, so it's just it's a very like I said, it's just I would just say have a plan, be willing to break it, like you said, and just realize that you don't need to go everywhere. Like we said, we probably pushed like 4 figures of Uber bills in NFT NYC #2, and just going across the city. If you're with a group of people, you're having a good time, you don't have to go to the next event. Even if you paid for it, even if it's an event that has an entry, why are you making a face?
Go ahead, finish your thought.
No, go ahead. You seemed you're shocked about something. What happened?
Finish your thought, because it is a complete derailment. I just
No,
saw.
no. I mean, that was kind of the end of it. Like, so I'm curious what the
Well,
like.
I was reading it in real time, so I don't fully understand it yet. Apologies for the pause. The valuation that I first saw had my jaw dropping because it would be an Uber print if it happened. So this kind of just launched for just hit for MegaETH, the first real-time blockchain built for you, priced by you. Our public sale on Sonar by Echo. This is again Kobe's platform that he just sold to Coinbase. So I don't know if it's been confirmed, but the heavy.
It's an English auction, so I see what you're excited about. You think you're going to get $1 million valuation buying in on this thing?
Yeah, we won't get a $1 million FDV, but the heavy speculation is, well, not speculated, it is, this will be the first public sale on Echo post Coinbase acquisition. A lot of speculation, and it would make sense that everything, all rounds on Echo end up getting a insta day one listing on Coinbase. I think we'll see MegaETH listed on Coinbase at launch. They'll have a tier 1 listing at launch, I believe. So yeah, but what dropped my draw is I thought this public sale was going to start at a $1 million FTV. It will, but it's just going to start there. So it's expanding. Last year we partnered with Kobe's Echo to host the largest sale on their platform, bringing in 3,000 investors on the same terms as Dragonfly, Joseph Lubin, and Vitalik Buterin. Round 2, this time you decide the terms. The initial price is 1 million FTV. Max price is 999 million FTV. No unicorn valuations allowed, so it's not. They're not going to let it hit $1 billion. If I remember right, I think the Fluffle sale was at a 500 million FTV. Users can commit up to $186,282 through an English auction. If oversubscribed, they will prioritize existing MegaETH community alongside those who illustrate long-term alignment through social activity, on-chain behavior, and lockup preferences. This is a big deal. And yes, I'm excited about the MegaETH sale. Steve and I, as well as Coffee with Captain Entity, all hold Fluffles. I think we're heading into an entirely new world of like a new and improved ICO season, to where it's not just going to be whales, it's not just going to be farmers, but it's going to take, your capital, your usage of the platform, that'll all be considered, but basically tying to your social activity, your on-chain behavior, your lockup preferences, like really vetting your pre-sale participants as if you would a private sale participant, right? Like someone's, raising a small friends and family round, they're not just going to let anyone in. And I really appreciate that it's not just, this person has 1,000 Bitcoin, we're going to let them, and will those people likely get in their sale? Yeah, for sure. But I really like this approach. I haven't read the whole article here, but I just, yes, I'm biased, but I really like how MegaETH is moving pre-launch. And, this biz model allocation ensures broad token distribution while prioritizing key contributors. Core supporters receive priority allocations, while at least 5,000 participants receive the baseline allocation starting at $26.50. They're selling 5% of Mega to you on the 27th. Sign up now to confirm your ability to participate. MegaETH represents the final leap in scaling technology, leveraging Ethereum to build infinitely scalable real-time infrastructure. Applications will become instant and seamless, free of centralized authorities and Moloch, and you will be the owners. There's a very good chance, Steve, I get a white rabbit as my first tattoo in the Caribbean over Christmas season.
Any related to is it going to get you a bigger MegaETH allocation? Going to get you the airdrop?
Maybe.
The pre-sale thing is very interesting. I don't think I can participate because of my net worth not being high enough. However, it is an interesting, for sure, an interesting mechanic. I think it goes live next Monday. They said it was going to go live, I think, for 72 hours. And they said at that point, it's not going to be based on FOMO mechanics or prioritization when you come in, like you said, like you were reading there. It's based on alignment.
You need to get signed up before that. There's some steps you need to take to KYC and go through all the process. So that's you don't want to wait until the pre-sale begins. You need to go through Echo and get your account set up prior to, if it's something you're wanting to participate in. Sorry, back to you.
No. I just I was eating a yawn while I was doing that too, so I appreciated that actually was perfect air cover because I was sitting there and it's I was about to yawn and you hit it at the right time. In sync. But no, I think I think for those who participate,
Explain the English auction. We flew through that. Explain the English auction for those of us that aren't quite familiar or not fully getting the English auction. By the way, the English can't participate, which is the best part of this.
I don't even fully understand the English auction, but as someone can tell me if I'm wrong on this. My understanding is you can bid at various valuations, and as the valuation goes up, you can continue to bid your amount until it hits a point, a top point, and then that's where you get in. Right? Is that right? I mean, I just know in English auction they're ascending it in value in what it's worth, and you're allowed to continue to put money down towards it. And you have the right to be like, look, I'm out at that valuation. I was in at 50, but I'm out at 100, right? Like, as
Whereas the Dutch auction starts high and goes lower, this starts low and goes higher.
Right. It has a cap, and like you can jump out at any point of where you want it to be. It'll probably be oversubscribed. But to my understanding, it's basically like, look, if it goes up to almost $1 billion and you think MegaETH, say $250 million FTV, then you're going to want to jump out at 249 million FTV or whatever number you decide that you deem is worth it to do that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's
many billions, north of 10 billion.
I hope so. For the sake of, I mean, yeah, like you said, like that Fluffle allocation would be looking like a snack if it's,
Fluffle's 20x programmed. It's programmed
20x on that. Could be an eating ICO season for sure on that. So are you,
so one quick one on this. Like, if you're in the US, you do need to be accredited. So that's $1 million net worth or a couple $100,000 a year. Even if you don't have a lot of liquidity to throw at this thing, I would recommend creating an Echo account, throw $1 at it. Everyone here can afford to lose $1. Throw $5 at it and give up half of a latte. Plasma, which did their pre-sale on Echo, they end up rewarding anyone who you could have sent $1 into that pre-sale and you got $9,000 worth of tokens. That's not likely to happen here. Probably not going to happen. You'll probably spend $1 and get $1 back in tokens. But participation here is often rewarded. Echo was just acquired by Coinbase. Coinbase is going to have a base token at some point in the future. You don't have to connect too many dots to think that, Echo participants might get some base allocation. So I think not only could you end up getting, potentially a nice return on your low, investment in this MegaETH pre-sale, you potentially also could get future base allocation as a result of it as well. I'm not trying to create unrealistic hopium. It's one of these things. Participation is rewarded here. If you're able to participate, whether where you live or if you're in the US, if you qualify, I would strongly encourage you to at least put a small amount of money into the pre-sale that you can afford to lose. It goes to zero. There's a lot of motion with Echo, with Coinbase right now. I think this is a really, really big deal. I hit on it the other day, Steve, when you were out, but I think this Coinbase acquisition is, and I love how they played it too. I love the marketing ploy, buying the up only NFT for 25 million. They were clearly tied together. It was clearly a marketing play, and I like it, man. Like Coinbase for me is going from cringe to cool with one acquisition.
I think it's cool. I'm not, I think great. Like, I think they bought a new advanced area of their business. I do think it's interesting though, as far as like
the acquihire. I'm saying they just went from having Jesse as their CT spokesperson to the greatest CT spokesperson of all time. Kobe is the top KOL. It's like hard stop. There's no one else on CT that carries what he carries on this app, and the acquihire of Kobe is he's a one-on-one man. Like he is the top KOL. Like he like runs circles around Ansem and TG and all like the newer KOLs. Like Kobe is the OG crypto Twitter KOL, and I think that as much as the platform is important, as much as I'm excited about future ICOs and what Coinbase could do with this, I think them getting Kobe on the team is a massive, massive win for Coinbase. I don't think it could be overstated.
Yeah, it's a good move for them to acquihire Kobe for sure. So I think that's smart, and obviously the return of the pod is part of that, right? They pulled that same move as a smart PR move. I think it's a good play by them. I'll be curious how they sort of juggle that relationship, and I'm sure it's funny because people are like, oh, he said he has the right to fudge you if you buy the NFT. I'm like, they just bought his company for like they basically bought his company for 400 million and said, do a podcast. Like that's what happened. You know, I mean, it was like 375. It was the acquisition of Echo, and then 25 mil for the podcast. It was an all-in deal, and they talked behind closed doors first. It wasn't like people were like, the people initially reacted like, oh my God, Coinbase just bought this. Like it was a surprise to Kobe that he was like, who bought it? Brian Armstrong. It's like, you don't think that these conversations happened for like probably weeks, if not months behind closed doors? Like obviously. So
I know Kobe's getting a lot of flowers, a lot of love. How about Ledger though? Ledger Status, we've had on this show. Like this is an example of how you can make it in crypto. You can be a gigabrain and or you could have been here early. You could be a big gigabrain that builds the next, unicorn crypto app. Or you can identify the movers, the leaders in this space, get close to these people, do something with them. It's not going to happen instantly, but your network is your net worth in crypto. And I don't think there's any other industry on the planet that holds so true. No one cares about your degree, your background, your sexual orientation, your religion. Like it is truly, I believe, the most fair and equitable opportunity for wealth creation on the planet. That said, you do need a network. And Ledger hit it off with Kobe early. Was a co-host of Up Only, and they stopped doing the show. Ledger's, for all intents and purposes, been like off crypto Twitter for the last few years. And all of a sudden, he wakes up to $12.5 million because he gets half of that NFT sale. Like imagine that, Steve. Imagine you go sail off to the sunset, and then a few years down the road, we sell a coffee with Captain NFT for 20 mil.
I would gladly take that. Yeah, for sure. I could definitely get a couch for that. It's would be nice. Would be nice sooner or later. I mean, like, look, I mean, the goal is like you stick around long enough, eventually you hit something. And for me, it's like it's a slow and steady grind up. But like, yeah, like to your point on like, I know you like I'm less bullish on the monad allocation than you are, but it's like you never know when you're going to hit one of these big wins. Like, what if the monad allocation is $50,000 for the top tier? What if the MegaETH fluffles do get $25,000? Like, there's a world where people print 6 figures on airdrops to end the year based on the fact that they just were here, hung around, participated, and did things, and they happen to have the ones that hit. So you got to network, you got to get around, you got to be thoughtful, you got to actually participate, you got to understand what you're doing. But there is a real world where some people print on some numbies in the coming days, weeks, and months. So yeah, exciting times leading into it, and I'm hoping that hoping to continue. And it's the only place in the world where you can talk about projects and just get monthly payments. Like I keep telling people, like there are a few that under talked about things that are actually doing cool stuff on the InfoFi space, where you can get yourself $500, $1,000, $1,500, sometimes $2,000 in a month for 5, 6, 7 tweets. Like it is out there. It exists. So, take advantage of it while you can.
Yeah, for sure. It's, and I don't know. I know we got to get out of here, so we can wrap it. I just say that, like, I think of MegaETH, I think of our guy Mackie, who I'm MegaETH's a success. Mackey's going to have a massive come up in the next year, like on the par of like an ICO Beast, a Clemente, maybe more appropriate from like the clipping and the video stuff. He's contributed a lot to the ecosystem. He dove in early and he continues to do so. And I could see Mackie being someone who rides the MegaETH wave, assuming there is a wave. I could see him doing very, very well off that wave beyond just any allocation you get from Fluffle or pre-sale. And I'm really close to not just going, and I say all in, I'm really close to going really hard and immersing myself in the MegaETH ecosystem. I mean what I say. I really I love how they're building pre-launch. I love the Mega Mafia. I love how they're seemingly investing in their builders, working closely with their builders, supporting those builders. I think there's going to be a few that come flying out of the gates, and I want to be able to identify which of those dApps are the sticky ones. Like I saw there's going to be 2 meme launchers on MegaETH at launch. Maybe they both make it. I think probably one of them makes it. Maybe meme coins aren't a thing on MegaETH. Maybe it's just not a thing. I think there's a possibility that they do become a thing. And if they do, that's something I would like to make sure I participated, right? So it's like, I've not been a real farmer of chains. Like I went and I participated, whether it's Blast or Abstract, but it's more like passive farming, if that makes sense. Like I'll go and explore, I'll move a little bit of capital over and I'll do some things, but I'm not like I've never done multi-wallets. I'm not like grinding the farm game. I may make it a focus to the point where like think about like power blocking off time, like spend at least an hour a day in the MegaETH ecosystem. I just maybe it doesn't hit, but I think there's a chance that MegaETH becomes the next big thing, and Monad could as well. I just haven't. I'm not nearly as close to Monad nor as invested as I am MegaETH. So I think those are the two big ones in terms of new chains coming online in potentially Q4. And yeah, I'm preparing to put shove some more chips in on the MegaETH side, both in terms of time.
If they use the Kaido leaderboard and they have it, there's no reason not to, and have those conversations on the timeline. And I just, it's funny because Diablito said, kind of hating InfoFi, don't have time to study these platforms, become an advertiser on the timeline. I mean, that's why you just got to find stuff you actually like. Like, I'm not disingenuous about what I feel about Polygon. In fact, this morning had, Einstein in the chat asking about, why is Polygon exciting? And I responded with a whole bunch of reasons because I have them offhand because I care. I like it. I enjoy the things they're building. Like, excited about Billions. I'm excited about Maiden. I'm excited about Polymarket. I'm excited about, Courtyard. Like, we have our friends at Beezy, but the Courtyard stuff is similar type stuff. Like, what they're doing with payments, what they do with stable coins. Like, it's a very interesting ecosystem to me. And like, guess what? Just talking about it on a monthly basis, next month when they do the payouts, I'll have made like $7,000 in 3 months talking about Polygon.
It's insane.
Like, that's a good, like, it's just by existing. So it's like, you talk about like MegaETH. It's like, if you get high in the MegaETH Kaido leaderboard and they use Kaido for a distribution method for extra tokens, like, gonna go well. So I just think there's like opportunity that exists, but like, don't be like a mercenary hired gun. There are people who do that. There are people who like seem to game systems where I've been in them where I'm not going to name names, but I've seen people who are clearly like potentially teaming up with people to try to like really juice InfoFi stuff. But if you just get excited about something, you can do pretty well. So, and Diablo just say Ape Chain stuff. I mean, Ape Chain's an interesting one. I will say, like, for a lot of the people who are at the top of the leaderboard, I've kind of been very careful about how I do that stuff. I no shade on anybody else, but like, I don't think the top leaderboard is going to get that much in ApeCoin. So it's just like a matter of like understanding like what the risk reward and return on investment is and return on time, like on that stuff. So like, yeah, I mean, I could go all day on this and where it's worthwhile spending time, where it's not worthwhile spending time, but it's a whole nother conversation about, how to do it. And last time I explained InfoFi to someone who was grateful and he fucking cooked me on the leaderboard. So I should probably keep my mouth shut.
Last thing, and I promise you can take us home. I think breaking news. That's the first time I'm seeing it anyways. And as far as I can tell, it's legitimate, but looks like Baby Shark Universe coming to other side.
Yeah, I don't know what this means exactly. I'm not sure what this means.
What does it explore new adventures with your Baby Shark avatars coming soon to other side. Create your profile. Other side, like this is 200,000 followers. Says using the official Baby Shark IP, BSU is building an open world game and expanding into DeFi, RWA, and AI. We aim to break Web2 barriers and become a global hub.
I need to do more research on it. I don't know much about Baby Shark Universe outside of the song. I'm not sure if they have a lot of stuff, but like, did not know DeFi was on the range. But there they are.
I would not think of that being the demographic of Baby Shark demographic, or like DeFi and Baby Shark. Yeah, doesn't. But they're definitely in the space. And
peanut butter and jelly, peas and carrots, Baby Shark and DeFi go together.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I know the song. I'm not sure what it means. Hopefully it expands that addressable audience and other side. They're probably looking at sort of some younger people who are aging into potentially being able to use that. So I think that's a smart play there.
Maybe this isn't the one that hits. Maybe there's not a bunch of Baby Shark people that come into other side. I think how they've been moving with other side, bringing all these other avatars, like it's not getting enough credit on the timeline. It's really actually pretty impressive, the amount of IP they already have in there. In fact, if this was 2022 and they had everything in there, it would be the talk of the timeline. Like people would be going nuts over it. It's just like, I think a lot of crypto has, moved on to new shiny toys, or they're trading perps, but other side takes off and really has that, stickiness. Like much more likely for a Baby Shark person to come and play a game in the other side than it is them to. And could there be DeFi components and rewards and stuff? Sure, but yeah, I like the approach. 32 collections and counting in other sides. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's interesting to see the way they're sort of building out the different sort of businesses, I guess. Just, knowing that, on one hand you have like the Complex Con, Bored Ape, that brand right there, and then other side is with Bored Ape, but obviously a very different community, a very different group, a very different way they're growing it. So definitely fun to kind of see how they're unfolding the different brands in different ways, I guess, is what's interesting to me. For sure. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how they expand Baby Shark and other things in other side, but like they clearly, I'll be curious to hear what the plan, maybe if they've announced plans for other side in at ApeFest, I guess, and see like how it goes. Cause like the part that interests me as like the nerd here is like, I like the strategy stuff, right? Like that stuff gets me interested of like, what's your plan and what are you trying to do? And I think in this instance, you can kind of see they're shooting for a much broader audience, try to actually play in their digital universe. So I think it's probably the right play.
Complete shift. And I know I said get you out here. I promise this last thing. We won't have time to talk about it tomorrow. Is you'll be in the air. And I think it is a good data point I like worth you taking a look at, because I don't want to say I called it, but I called it. I really like 90% of the things OpenSea is doing. I think, as I've shared previously, I think they announced the C token too soon. And my concern was a big drop off in season 2 after most people didn't calculate EV properly on season 1. I'm just going to show you the chart. This is their token swap since season 1 ended.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen a lot of people sharing this one. I think fees are a problem because the fees are obviously there, which we talked about, right? And then I think I've said before in this, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like the UX is a problem. Like I think the fees aren't sustainable. Like people aren't going to go there and get eaten on fees if your audience is within the crypto space in particular. And then the actual UX, I feel is when I look at it, like I see the chart on the left, like it feels very much like I'm swapping on an NFT platform versus like you see Jupiter, you see Uniswap, you see Project X. It's like you want to swap your tokens, you want a clean swap mechanism, Relay, right? Like it's like it looks very, very different. So I think there's probably some potential improvements to be had there with, the look and feel, or maybe you can choose a different view if you want to do the trader view, because it's almost like the view I have right now and the way it feels, I guess it's not quite a meme coin trader or trencher view, but it's also not quite a swapper view. And the actual, fees themselves, I think are something where, I mean, look, I've said it on this show. They got an Old Spice problem. I've said it on the show before. Like the Old Spice problem, if people don't know Old Spice, it was a brand where they used to, your dad, it used to be your dad's aftershave with from the green bottle, and it smelled like, it smelled like old people. That's what you thought about Old Spice.
Musky.
Then they completely yeah, and then they rebranded. They changed the colors, the feel, the brand itself, and they were able to get themselves out of the idea of being your dad's aftershave into a multi sort of product line of men's products for younger demographics. People think of OpenSea as the NFT trading marketplace, and you see it with the responses and how people are talking about it. Like Devin said in his space, Devin said on his tweet that we shared last week that they're looking to expand into multiple products. You got to figure out how you're going to get those people over there using those products if you're going to try to be that ever-expanding app. And I think you just see the way people talk about this. I saw some other people in the timeline talking about this. They look at it as being like, just do NFTs really well. We had people on the show comment, just do NFTs really well. Well, that's not how they're going to make the most money and be the most successful business. So got to start thinking about how they're going to integrate tokens. They talked about perps and some other things. So I think fees are the problem. I think UX is the problem. And I think they probably need to figure out how they flip their brand into being the thing that everybody uses for everything versus people saying like, oh yeah, the NFT marketplace. And they do that really well. And that's what I want to use it for.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. I will say this for those that are playing the farm season 2 is going to be a lot less crowded. Going to be a lot less people going for those prizes as opposed or run up to the heavier chest, the higher chest than there was in season 1 based on this.
Yeah, you won like, and because they've I mean, but even with that, I mean, like, we'll say the same thing we said on the show the entirety of the time. It's like, go in knowing the risk that you're playing the lottery. Like I said, I used OpenSea to buy and sell some NFTs on some swing trades. I used to do some swaps for my LPs. I maybe did a couple of swaps in there that were more farming swaps, but not too many. So I'm like, I wasn't disappointed that I got, $800 back on however much I spent. I don't know how much I spent. Let's say I spent $1,200 and I lost $400 on it. But like, for any rewards program, that's plenty good, right? Like, that was good. I might have even made, I don't know. I'd have to do the math on it. I think if people are going in farming to like something where they are admittedly not looking to like Adam had that tweet afterwards. He's like, this was designed not to be high value, not to wreck NFTs, because we put in bids on the bottom of the floor to make sure that they didn't get dumped out on. We put in like a less money you're making swapping NFTs than otherwise. So if you just swap them at a loss, they were made to not do wash trading. So like, just believe what they're telling you in that instance, right? Like, believe what they're telling you about this, that this is not designed to be a farm. And then it's like, you see that sort of stuff on CT a lot. We talked about it the day after, where it was like, they said it wasn't designed to be a farm. And, and I think they probably, like, a lot of people saw the prize in the timeline. They got excited. And like, I always looked at it as a lottery ticket. You said on the show several times, it's not worth the squeeze for the lottery ticket for you, and you didn't farm it, and it worked out for you that way. Like, so I think even when you said like less crowded, I just would be careful where, you could understand it's a lottery ticket. That is negative EV.
And one of those first comments was like, well, I think this is exactly what they wanted, right? They want people using it organically. They don't want people farming it. And seemingly that's what's happened now. So maybe it did take that first letdown.
Looking at those numbers, right? You know what I mean? Like, I think they're down, but I would guess that they're not like, oh no, they probably are like, okay, people are using the
yeah, they're probably still up from where they were before. It's just that season 1 was just wash trading. It was just people farming something that was negative EV. It was driving fake numbers, driving fake volume, and ultimately led to a big letdown. That wasn't their intent. They wanted it to be a rewards program, not a farm. And now it's actually moving closer to a rewards program because you don't have. And as someone who wasn't farming, that's what was upsetting me is, again, I know it's different buckets. It still feels dilutive to people who were real users. Now it's much more looking like real users as opposed to just people wash trading to farm something. So I'm actually excited to see that drop off in wash trading.
Right. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, who knows? But like, you would assume that the real users are the ones that are going to see the most rewards, and the ones who are using the platform now, but like, are also going to see rewards. But I think real users in both instances, like we've heard from their CEO and their CMO at this point now, that they're looking to reward people who are really using the platform, who enjoy the platform. So, believe people when they tell you stuff, I guess is the best way to do it. But yeah, I saw that. And like, I think I see a lot of the stuff, and the challenge OpenSea is looking at is that people look at that swap thing and they're like, this was just they're trying to farm us. I'm like, I don't necessarily think they were. I think they're trying to expand their product, but there's going to be growing pains when there's competitors that have more competitive fees, right? What are you offering? The thing that you have to ask yourself is, I fly Delta over other airlines and things because I like it's not the cheapest. It's factually like, any seat on a Delta Airlines more expensive. I think that the product is better. I think they manage their planes better. I think that they manage their snacks, their drinks, their foods better. I think they manage their boarding process better. I like their lounges. Obviously, I'm in the rewards program and I'm deep in that. But like, why am I a Delta flyer over? They fly places I want to go. They have hub cities that are convenient for me. Like, there needs to be a reason, if something's more expensive, for someone to use it over the other thing. And if that thing can get introduced, whether it's a rewards program or something else, that's what you need to do. Because in a competitive space, I mean, like, flying is, if you understand the difference that if I fly Spirit Airlines, I get a food tray that's the size of an iPhone. I get, tight in with people as much as possible. I'm sitting, in, tight space quarters. Everything's an upcharge. You have to pay for care. Like, these things going into it. So like, you do the value proposition of where you want to be. So I think those are things to like, I think sometimes we just try to throw out Web 2 in this Web 3 world. And I think sometimes we got to take a Web 2 approach and say, like, what are the things that have been tried and true about getting people to use various products, and why and who and how, and make those applications. So we shall see. But yeah, I saw that graph going around and I was like, it's probably good if the graph goes way down and then slowly goes up as they make changes to things, not it just goes until they have a TGE and then falls off. Like the fact that if October 15th was their TGE, looking at that graph, I'd be like, well, that's really worrisome. It's not. And so it's, I know there was an event that happened. It's like, there's probably a lot of improvements to be had there. But yeah, I saw that graph going around this morning. And like I said, I've been critical of the fees. I've been critical of the UX. And I think that, both of those things the interface needs to get a little bit of an upgrade. So, yeah, but yeah, we'll see. What else?
We're good.
No, good. I was going to say, like, anything else before we want to get out of here?
Nope. Have a great one. Safe travels to you and everyone else heading out there, and looking forward to seeing everyone Friday. Go hit that reminder up top of the carousel for tomorrow. We got Klanos joining us. Some big stuff coming out of the Klanos team.
Yep. So I will be out tomorrow. Cap's going to have the Klanos team on. You're going to want to hit that. I will be alone on Friday for a Spaces Only edition with Joey Vowles. We will talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I will be on a plane, but Cap will be here. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.